Hello and welcome on in to the Rock Valley Bowl. Rich Reynolds joined this week by Eric Rogers, and this is kind of a fun one for us. We step out of the Big 8 Conference and the Badger Conference only once a year, and it's to do the Rock Valley Bowl. We come down here to Evansville or Edgerton. Yeah, it's a rivalry game. That's why we pick it. And also what's kind of cool about being here in Evansville is this is Ron Grovestein Field. He's a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, so 47 years at the city and 36 years coaching. And you talk about longevity. You got to be doing something right if you're going to be here for that long. And, you know, a lot of expectations for the Evansville-Albany team. But also both teams obviously looking to get things rolling.
Yeah, and they both do. I mean, both coming in at 1-3, both at least coming off a win, but they got to get to the playoffs, and getting to the playoffs means this is a big game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you see that with, like, the NFL especially all the time. Like, a team will start 0-2, and you start getting worried. You get to 0-3, and you start thinking you're missing playoffs. Well, now you're both 1-3 coming in, and game 2 wins in a row now. Well, you're looking at, okay, well, we're 2-3. We can go from here. We still can achieve our goals. So this could be a really pivotal game for both the teams.
Absolutely. And it also seems like Evansville, you know, year after year, they talk about pounding the rock. It's their motto. It's what they like to do. But as soon as we got here, all they're talking about is a wide receiver that's going to be out.
Yeah, Sully Geske going to be out with what they're calling a deep thigh bruise. So he is out. How many yards he have last week? Like some insane numbers. So
he went off.
A key guy for Evansville-Albany out tonight. So Edgerton obviously looking to take advantage of that.
And they're going to have to take advantage of, they're going to have to get better defensively. They've given up a lot of points.
42.2 points per game from what we're seeing. So a lot hinging on this game to kind of get it all together as we get to the middle of the season. We are in the middle of the season, so here we go.
Absolutely. We're just getting started here on the 10-Pin Alley pregame show. Coming up, we're going to talk to the head coaches. We'll have the coin flip for you, the national anthem, and then football time, the Rock Valley Bowl, straight ahead right here on 57 Sports. Back on the 10-Pin Alley pregame show from Evansville as we get set for tonight's Rock Valley Bowl. We have the chance right now to talk with the head coach of the Edgerton Crimson Tide, and that is Mike Gregory. And, Coach, this is always a big one. We come out for this one every year. This is a rivalry game. How pumped up are you guys tonight?
Well, anytime you get Edgerton and Evansville together, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a good game. The kids know each other. They're going to play hard against each other, and like you said, it's a rivalry game. This is as big as it gets.
Backyard brawl, yeah.
And Coach, we were just looking at some of the stats from over the season, the defense giving up a few points here. So is there any one thing or two things you can point to say maybe we need to lock something down to combat that?
Well, we had to get better defensively, and I thought we did that last week. We took major step forward against Whitewater. Besides giving up an 80-yard pass play right before the half, we held them to 80 yards total offense the whole game and should have had a shutout. So our kids really responded the way we wanted them to, but Evansville gives us a whole different challenge tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Defensively, you talked about being able to turn it around. How about offensively? You guys are putting some points up on the board. What can we expect to see offensively from you tonight?
Well, we hope we can do the same thing. We're so young. I mean, we're starting 5 sophomores on offense and only have 2 seniors that are playing. And when you get that, you get a lot of inconsistency. And that's what we've seen throughout the course of the year is that, you know, that just kind of not quite ready yet. I mean, they're before their time. And, you know, we know that, and you got to be patient with it. And that's what we're trying to do. But we think we're getting better every week. And, you know, that's been our goal all along.
Well, you know, obviously kickoff just moments away. Any last thoughts before, like, anything that you're looking at, say, that's key tonight?
Well, we got to compete. Our kids have got to grow up a little bit, and they can't be sophomores anymore, and you know, and just compete. If we do that, we'll be happy.
Right. Sounds good. We're hoping that you do as well, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Yep,
we thank you for your time, and we'll be right back with more in the 10-Pin Alley pregame show right here on 57 Sports. All right, back out in the 10-Pin Alley pregame shows. We're getting set for the Rock Valley Bowl. We are joined now by the head coach of the Evansville-Albany Blue Devils, and that is Ron Grovestein, along with Jeff Updike. And we got some things to cover here. Both of you guys wearing matching T-shirts. Yeah, what can you say about these T-shirts here tonight?
We had a community member, Harlow. She ended up with some stage 4 neoblastoma cancer. And these kids all got together, wanted to do this for her and get her to understand that we are out backing her and staying together, and tell her we're there for our thoughts and prayers are always there with her.
Absolutely. And Jeff, can you turn around too? Everybody can get a shot. Yeah, here we go. Harlow Strong, the hashtag right there as well. So good stuff and good to hear. And a lot of purple tape out there tonight. So looks kind of good.
Yeah, Coach. Now we're looking at 1-3 team now. You get the things going in the right direction. With expectations at the start of the season, at what point do you look at it and say, well, here's where we are, here's what the expectations were, and where do you go from there?
You just move on. I mean, you can't think about the past. We geared up for the games in the past, and now we're at this stage of the game that we got another tough opponent, Edgerton, and we got to move on and make some plays.
You know, Coach, I've been kind of surprised in following you guys week after week how much balance in the offense. You guys usually pound the rock. It's usually a running team. You've been able to balance that out. Might be a little bit hurt tonight. You lose a receiver, don't you?
Yes, Sully can't play here, but we got somebody that's going to step up and take a spot, I hope. But we like to pound the rock, and if whatever works during the game, we're going to do it.
Good stuff. And, coaches, we thank you so much. Love the T-shirts. Yeah, good luck tonight. Yep, and hashtag Harlow Strong as well. We love it. We'll be back as we have the coin flip coming up next. You've been watching it's actually the barbecue show, Blow and Smoke Barbecue Show. That's what's next. We got so much going on out here at the Rock Valley Bowl and 10 Pin Alley pregame show on 57 Sports.
Folks, it's the Blow and Smoke Barbecue Tailgating Showcase, and I'm here now with Robert Bishop, owner of Blow and Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee. How are you, Robert?
Doing good, Justin.
Good to have you.
Good seeing you.
Thanks for having us up here. So, what are we looking at here today?
This is our going to be our tailgate appetizer special.
Okay.
Chiefs games, Packer games, Badger games, of course.
Okay.
What we got here is our
You got some onion rings?
Onion ring, beer battered onion rings.
Yeah.
These are buffalo chicken cheese balls.
Okay.
Mozzarella, cheddar, cream cheese, buffalo chicken.
Okay.
Deep fried in a little panko.
Sure.
We've got our beer battered mushrooms.
Okay.
With a little of our secret seasoning in there.
Okay.
And then just some French fries and sweet fries to go with.
Very good. Very
Serve
good.
it up with a little homemade ranch dressing.
Wow. So that you make that in-house?
Yep, we make that too.
And the people should know that you make the cheese balls, the mushrooms, and the onion rings all in-house here.
Yep. So,
all right, let's give it a try here. I'm going to try, I haven't had the mushroom yet,
okay.
So I'm going to try that. Do people eat it with ranch typically?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
We got a horsey that we make here, horsey sauce that comes with those. It's really good. You like a little spice.
Mmm. Oh my God.
We cook these mushrooms down in a beer, first of all, with a little rosemary. That takes away most of that moisture. Then we let them cool out, then we batter them up, and then deep fry them. So they're not like the kind you bite into and all the water drips out of them.
Yeah. And I can taste the beer, which is great. And this is something that you said you're doing for Chiefs games, Packer games, and so forth?
Yep. Football, basically any day football's on, we'll be doing these things.
Awesome.
Just a good way to start off your meal,
And you got some TVs in your area here so people can come and enjoy the games here.
You bet, yep.
And also, but if you wanted to bring some home, you can do that as well.
Sure, just give us a call. If it's a large order, maybe a day in advance. If it's a small order, take care of it, in just an hour or so, and pop by, pick it up, and get home and watch the game.
Award-winning barbecue right here in Wanakee with Blow and Smoke Barbecue. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there's more high school football coming up right after this.
Welcome to the Rock Valley Bowl, where Evansville Albany is taking on Edgerton, and we've got your Monona Bank coin toss coming up. Let's take a listen in.
Shake hands, guys. Introduce yourselves. Okay, guys, I'll introduce the other officials to you tonight. Mr. Jim Bird will be your linesman. Mr. Jesse Johnson will be your back judge. Mr. John Myers will be your umpire. Mr. Bob Rapp will be your line judge. If you have any questions throughout the game, feel free to ask us and we'll get you an answer. Okay, with that, 6, you're gonna call the coin toss. I'm gonna flip it up in the air, catch it in my hand, and roll it over. Okay, if I drop it, we'll redo it. What's your call?
Tails.
Tails is the call. Oh, of course I got it. Okay, here we go.
Tails.
Tails is call. Tails it is. You want to toss, you can elect to receive, defer, or kick. They deferred. You guys get to choose what?
Receive.
You want to receive? They're going to receive. Which goal would you like to defend?
We're gonna kick that way.
So you want to defend that goal? Okay, white over here, blue over here. This is what happened. Won the toss, deferred the second half. Blue, you're going to kick this way, and then you're going to receive. No, you guys are going to receive down here. I'm messing this up. You're kicking this way. Okay, any questions, guys? Good luck. Let's have a good, clean game.
That was your Monona Bank coin toss, and stay with us. We'll be back with the Cricket Wireless National Anthem right after this.
Probably the hottest night that we have had so far this year, and it comes in week 5 of our schedule as we bring you the A1 Furniture and Mattress High School Bowl Series. We're at the 2017 Rock Valley Bowl. I distinguish it as the 2017 one because we seem to do this each and every year here. We love coming down here. I'm Rich Reynolds along with Eric Rogers, who is in for former Badger quarterback Mark Martinez this week. And nice to have you up here in the booth this week, Eric.
Yeah, it's nice to be up in the booth and talking a little football action here, and haven't been to Evansville to see this rivalry before, but what a game we have. We'll lay it all out for you.
Yeah, always an excellent rivalry. Lots and lots to talk about tonight. We will get to that during our sideline reports as well and during the course of the game. But right now, it is time for us to stand for the Cricket Wireless National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Stirring rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Hopefully the play on the field will match it here tonight. We got a good rivalry for you. Evansville, Edgerton, coming up next right here on 57 Sports.
Play football this season.
Another gorgeous night for football here in southern Wisconsin, and we think that we have ourselves a good one. It usually is a good rivalry game here tonight between Evansville, Albany, and Edgerton. And as you see, a lot of purple on the uniform of the Blue Devils here tonight. We'll talk more and more about that. If you caught the 10-Pin Alley pregame show, you know a little bit about that. But it seems like Evansville's not only playing for a playoff position, which will inspire them, but they're inspired in other ways as well.
Well, we've seen this all across, whether you are talking about a high school football team, a college team, or an NFL team. When there's a cause like this, and we're seeing it with the NFL right now with the hurricane stuff, it's just they play at another level as far as the intensity. So I think you don't want to use it as saying that's your motivating factor of what really drives you, but I mean it's got to add an extra element.
And it does as kickoff here from Evansville tonight. A full crowd on hand as a return. Big yardage, in fact, for Samuel Urquhart, who brings it up to about the 45, just past that. Indeed, so great field position to start the drive here on senior night for Evansville Albany as we take a look as Urquhart scooting right through and getting taken down by the kicker as he neared midfield. Zach Milkey takes over at quarterback, or takes over. He leads the way, and he has now since last year. It seems like we've been calling his name for the last 3 years, has Milkey, and he is going to start in shotgun here tonight. Kind of interested to see who Coach Grovestein said is going to step up tonight for Sullivan Geske. Milkey dropping back, looking long, instead has to bring it down and gets good yardage on first down. In fact, might be near a Festival Foods first down.
Well, you get some edge pressure and getting around the edges, and it was a good job by the offensive lineman to actually create that extra little space in the pocket. Quarterback steps up and gets a nice cannon. Like you talked about with the return, anytime you're starting near midfield, you're in a good way to start this game.
Well, not quite a Festival Foods first down, going to be about a half yard shy, and that's okay. You got to see our graphic there. Festival Foods, it's the little things. Visit your nearest Festival Foods today. Milkey behind center right now. They will run some option as you see that happening, and the give is going to be on the reverse. Good yardage, first down yardage, and more for Sam Hegley.
Yeah, Hegley listed at 6'3", 195 pounds. I mean, it's a big runner there to go around the edges, and it's really testing this defense already. You're seeing for the Crimson Tide, who gave up, as we mentioned, the pregame, 42.2 points per game.
11 yards for number 11. Kind of funny, Sam came into the sports news on Sunday, got to interview him. He just sat there, didn't talk, didn't get mic'd up, didn't want to say anything.
Sometimes it's the quiet guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he starts off this game in good fashion. He'll get the ball again as he'll try that left side again. This time the Edgerton defense up to the task, but that defense has really struggled so far this year, haven't they?
Well, at least, you see in this instance, you're getting gang tackles, and I mean, that's what they teach you. And everyone in their gap assignments, they, pile onto the ball and a minimal gain.
Going to call it no gain right now. Our scoreboard here at Ron Grovestein Field not cooperating. But we'll call it 2nd and 10, and Milkey is going to go out of the shotgun. Ball on the ground, but Milkey able to pick it up, keep the play alive. Now he's getting dragged down, and it is going to be a Packers give-back sack. Our first of the night, as Milkey was able to handle the bobbled snap, look downfield, and then ran right into pressure, and a big loss on the play.
What's the hardest thing? As a defender, you are trying to hang on for dear life. That's Jordan Leeds, the tackle and defensive end, and he's over there just hanging on for his life, and you have an athletic quarterback who can get away and make runs with his feet. Not that time.
Waiting for somebody to come and help him out. Milkey, by the way, 6'3", 185, does real well at basketball as well with that kind of size.
That's like a 10-yard loss on that play.
Yeah, big loss, 3rd and long here for Milkey and company. He's going to look left side, finds a man out in the flat. They're going to get a chunk of it back as the pass is complete to Logan Katzenmeyer. He lined up in the slot, got about 9, and it brings up 4th and 10.
Well, the defense brings in an extra DB. It's Daniel Zemet on the tackle, number 44. So he'll come in and make the play. Listed only at 165, but nice job making the play, the receiver and defensive back. And now we're looking at a 4th and 9, as you said.
And I guess depending on the field position that we're in right now with the ball resting at the 32-yard line, Coach Grovestein is going to go for it here. Kind of in that area where you're too close to punt, too far for a field goal, and it's going to be 4th and 10. Milky has time, steps up in the pocket, throws it out long for Hegley in the end zone. Touchdown! What a throw and catch on a You Move Me touchdown. Milky to Hegley.
Well, Hegley listed, like we mentioned already, at 6'3", and typically your receivers are going to be a little bit taller than your DBs, and sometimes you just got to chuck it up. And additionally, Rich, we didn't talk about this in the pregame. There were 2 missed 2-point conversions. So I don't last week for Evansville Albany. So I don't know if they really have anyone that can really kick the ball, especially long. So right there, what a great play, and the risk paid off.
Beautiful pitch and catch and going for it. That was a 4th down. Milky is the holder as Sam Urquhart is going to come in to attempt the extra point. Placements down, kick is up, it's good. Evansville strikes quickly. 7-0 is our score from Evansville here at the Rock Valley Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on 57 Sports. Throw. Excellent throw. Good. Hey, is there any chance that we can come back on the replay and Eric can go over the replay? Okay. Cool.
Good call, Rich.
Yes. Evansville strikes first. Eric, it was a long toss on 4th and 10.
Well, we're looking at, like you said, the 4th and 10. That's a 32-yard touchdown bomb on the fade route into the corner of the end zone. And nothing really the defender could do there. Skylar Gullickson Nielsen, the DB, listed at 6 foot, but 150 pounds. Sometimes you're just not strong enough. And as a sophomore, that's a learning play.
Yeah, it is. And we talked with Coach Gregory before the game. He said a lot of sophomores lining up for him. But I tell you what, the coverage, pretty darn good. That's just a good pitch and catch right there, and a great look on the Pacific Union Financial replay. By the way, Pacific Union Financial, you're the reason that we do what we do. Join the Pacific Union experience and ditch the process. See what it's like when a mortgage company puts you first. Evansville scores first, 7-0 here in the early going. Edgerton looking to get it back. Their offense has not been the problem this season as they've been able to put some points up on the board. We'll see how their offense responds as Urquhart puts a toe into it. And the long kick being returned by Skylar Gullickson-Neeson. And he's down as he crosses the 20-yard line.
Well, you get beat on a play as the DB, but then you get a chance to return the ball. So he's still getting some touches. He's going to be a guy that gets involved. And like you mentioned, Rich, you're getting those young guys some experience, and maybe you start at 1-3. But they did make improvements last week, as Coach mentioned. You win over Whitewater 14-7, get a couple good defensive plays. They had a safety in that game. So there's plenty to look forward to for the Crimson Tide.
Jaden Johnson, just a junior, is the starting quarterback for Edgerton, listed at 6'2". He's got some size back there, and he can light it up a bit, and he's looking to throw on first down and throw long. That's all arm, and what a catch! Wow! Daniel Zymet with an amazing grab with the defender right in his face, and a big gain as the Crimson Tide strikes back.
The hardest thing in football to do if you're a right-handed quarterback is run to your left and throw on the run. And Carson Hill, the DB, I don't know, I might be a little upset if I'm him, because you might have been able to throw a flag for a push-off on that, but what a great play to haul that ball in. 2 great catches so far already, both teams' first offensive drives.
Yeah, you could call it, but that would just ruin it, Eric.
I agree, yeah.
30-yard pitch and catch of Festival Foods first down, and now we'll see the Crimson Tide go to the ground, and that seems almost anticlimactic as Devin Jorgensen, their leading rusher, gets the first carry of the night.
Well, if you remember when we talked with Coach before the game, what was the thing you talked about for the Crimson Tide? Coach Grovestein, he said, we might not have our leading receiver, but we have someone who might step up. He might have been talking about Hagley there, as we saw in that 4th down play, so keep an eye on him.
We will keep an eye on him throughout the night. Edgerton looking to bounce back. They will spread it out. So a little bit different look than what we're used to seeing from the Crimson Tide over the past couple of years. A lot more explosive pressure coming on the blitz and looking to get away, and just getting rid of the football is Johnson, and no intentional grounding a receiver in the area. He got lucky. There's pressure right in his face.
Well, you saw the Blue Devils initially looked like the linebackers were coming on the blitz. They back off. You bring the defensive lineman there on the 3-man blitz and create just enough pressure on the quarterback to throw that incomplete pass and set up this long 3rd down.
Got to look there at Coach Gregory on the sideline coaching in his 19th season. No rookie coaches.
Yeah, longevity is the story between these two coaches. And you'd think 19 years, that's a long time. You look on the other sideline, you're talking 36 years at the helm for Grovestein.
Unbelievable. Low snap, but time for Johnson. Airs it out right side and off the mark, as maybe that low snap bothered him just a little bit. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, there was an opportunity there if you wanted to complete for a 1st down, but something off with timing, route running. You come up now with a 4th down, but I mean, you got to take away, considering the field position where they started. This has been a somewhat successful drive, and now you can flip field position.
Mason Simmons going back to punt, and right after that punt, we're going to head down for our first Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. By the way, again, all of our sideline reports brought to you by Dale's Heating and Air. Check out dalesheating.com to find out how you can get your dryer vents clean for free, putting your comfort first at Dale's Heating and Air. Punt on the way. Urquhart takes it inside the 10-yard line, and again, a good return as he brings it back to the 20. All right, let's send it down to Ellen Barrett down on the sidelines.
We're here at the Rock Valley Bowl, and we've got another Dale's Heating and Air sideline report for you. This is Justin. He's the co-owner of Blues Treat Shop here in Evansville. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having us, and we brought some treats earlier. I hope everybody enjoyed those.
I think we over-enjoyed them. That was actually, it was a reverse. It was a problem. We enjoyed them so much. I think I had maybe more than one. They're pretty good. But you're located here in Evansville on Main Street, and you guys are so involved in the community. Why is it so important for you guys to be here tonight?
Well, Evansville is what you love about a small town, right? It's all what you love about a small town, and part of that is events like this, right? You come out and you're part of the community, whether it be athletic events, whether we're all here supporting Team Harlow. I mean, things like that. You love to see the town come together, and we want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And who doesn't love ice cream?
Who doesn't love ice cream? So we got froyo, we've got ice cream, we've got gelatos, we've got sorbets, Italian ice, 15 different flavors. You can't go wrong.
I love it because it's really something that everybody can come together on and everybody can enjoy. So we really appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll head back to the game.
Yeah, my belly's feeling kind of full.
She was right. She wasn't the only one who had more than one.
I partook in the gelato. It was fantastic. Speaking of partaking, Logan Katzenmeyer partaking in yardage on back-to-back runs for a Festival Foods first down. We saw his cousin, Chase Katzenmeyer, go off in this game last year. They're telling us it's Logan's turn this year.
Yeah, and speaking of that last meeting, it was actually a year ago, almost to the day where these two teams met. Evansville-Albany won that contest 41-3, holding the Crimson Tide to just 99 yards of total offense. This game right now, as far as yardage is concerned, it looks pretty even so far.
And that's what we're hoping for here tonight. Both teams coming in with a record of 1-3, as right up the middle, good yardage. Once again on the ground, this time it's Anthony Pascal.
Well, you get a little bit of misdirection on the running play. It looks like it's going to be a run off to the left, and the running back goes off to the right side, gets a little extra yardage, and that's just enough what you need to pick up the yardage and move the sticks. Now you're looking at another first down, and we talked to the coaches before the game, thought maybe this is going to be a kind of grinded out type game where the running game is featured, but so far we're seeing some big plays through the air, so we're looking to see that ground game get going.
And EA likes to pound the rock. It is written on their pants. And if we can get a shot of that down that right pant leg, it says pound the rock. And that's what Coach Grovestein likes to do. What he doesn't like are pre-snap penalties. It's our first courtesy Ford penalty flag of the night.
Well, Edgerton lines up in the 4-4 defense that time, but then they do end up trying to bring some edge pressure, which I think they ended up would have maybe get to Milky there and maybe Milky even saw that pressure coming, which could have been cause for this penalty flag before the snap. And now EA moving the wrong way, but 1st and 15 still obviously manageable.
We've seen that they can strike and strike in big yardage as, again, courtesy Ford in Sauk Prairie brings us all of our flags tonight. Milky finding a wide open target. That is Braden Updike. We saw his dad, Jeff Updike, during the pregame show, and Dad's probably pretty happy right now as his son picks up 11 yards.
On that play, I was looking at big number 64, the right tackle, Jeb Beck. He's listed at 6'4", 325 pounds, has probably the best mullet I've ever seen as well. But he just destroyed the edge rusher on that play. The play didn't end up going that direction, but keep your eye on number 64 in blue.
Kind of a mullet you expect from a hockey player.
Right, yeah. Maybe we don't know how many teeth. That's still to be decided.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 4 as they run that little reverse again to Hagley. Hagley getting buried under by a host of Crimson Tide, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, Hagley doing a little bit of everything for Evansville Albany here tonight so far. We've seen him run the ball. We've seen him do the jet sweep. We've seen him catch long balls. We've seen him on the return game, so number 11 in blue going to be obviously one of the key offensive players for the Blue Devils, so Crimson Tide got their work cut out for him.
Absolutely getting featured here early tonight. He is split out to the near side right now. Milky just yelled something out to him here on 3rd down and 3. The give's going to be to Pascal. Tony Pascal breaks the tackle, keeps moving inside the 40-yard line. Give him a gain of 12 yards and another Evansville 1st down.
Well, this is where being a non-football player for me makes an analyst's job hard, because Hunter Riley, the DB, was playing about 10 to 15 yards off of Hagley over there on the right side. So I'm thinking, okay, slant play for the 1st down, but then it goes a run off to the left, and they end up still picking up the 1st down either way. So good disguising for the offense there.
Absolutely. Coach Grovestein's been around the block a few times.
He fooled me. Who knew?
Gotta say, I tell you what, Coach, we love your pregame music selection.
That's right.
Good stuff as Logan Katzenmeyer dances forward. Check that. It's Tony Pascal. Or what's Katzenmeyer? There we go. Katzenmeyer down at the bottom of that, and he gains 3.
Mason Simmons, the running back / linebacker there, in on the tackle. Good pursuit to the ball. He's a guy who's been involved in the offense here this last couple of weeks, so keep your eye on Simmons defensively as well. He had 20 receptions this season for 433 yards. He actually is 1st in the Rock Valley Conference, so defensively doing it as well.
Again, Edgerton been able to put up some points, some yardage as Milky pass complete once again. A flag is down as for the moment it stands as a 1st down as the toss was out in the flats. Looks like Carson Hill was out there. Check that. It is actually number 88 who I don't have. I have an 89 Carson Hill or an 85 Carson Hill, but no 88.
Well, you get, as you said, the penalty flag there, maybe a hold, I would assume, but whenever, and that's always the risk you have on a screen play like that, is you're letting the defenders get in on the blitz, which is obviously like priority number 1 normal on a normal play, but you disguise it, you let the defenders come, and then dump it off to your big tight end and whoever that was on the play, and unfortunately the penalty negates that 1st down.
I wish we had that 88. We'll find out as soon as we can. Evansville marched back to their own 45-yard line, going to be 2nd down and 16. So it's a 10-yard holding penalty, but it goes from the spot of the foul, so it kind of works as an 11-yard loss. As it's Urquhart, it's going to get the carry. He's got good blocking, untouched down the right sideline, and inside the 20-yard line, he barrels forward to near the 15, and a gain of 29 on the play for Sam Urquhart.
Oh, Urquhart just lowered the hammer, and you see the DB, Dominic Reyes, just gets leveled. As you talk about getting pad level, and when you get lower than the other guy, you're going to win. The DB, it did not work that time, but when you're backpedaling like that, there's not much you can do. The defense couldn't spill the pressure far enough outside the edge to contain that, and you get the big play. It results in a first down.
Kind of interesting to see lots of different faces have contributed early on here for Evansville. In the red zone now, and pass incomplete, well covered on the play was Tony Pascal.
Well, you're seeing some multiple looks defensively for the Crimson Tide. Sometimes they're out in a 4-2, a 4-3. We've seen a 4-4. And, you know, you bring in the extra DB and good coverage on the play, and that's what you're looking for.
Milky off to a good start, 3 for 4, 52 yards so far tonight, including that 32-yard touchdown strike. Lots of yardage on the ground as well for the Blue Devils, as it's now 2nd and 10 as they look to go up by 2 scores in this game. Milky out of shotgun, looking left, fires incomplete, in and out of the hands of Seth Magg.
Well, the Crimson Tide are very lucky that that ball was dropped, because not only was the DB behind the receiver on the play, but the safety, who was Dominic Reyes on that play, was out of position, and you saw as the ball was snapped, he realized he was heading the wrong direction, so he had to backtrack, and that would have been 6 had that ball been caught.
Seth, sorry if I mispronounce your name. It might be Mog. I think I've mispronounced that name before when I've done Evansville games, and I apologize. Mag sounds
we do the
pretty
best
cool,
we can, you know? We've got.
Pressure now for Milky, rolling to his right, had an arm on him and is forced out of bounds. And I don't think it's going to be a sack, as it looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. If it would have been a sack, it would have been a Green Bay Packers give-back sack, but I'm going to call it no gain.
Nicholas Sprang, the pursuing defender on the play, had the quarterback by the jersey in the back, and he was smart enough to know, if I yank on this thing, that's a horse collar, and we're looking at this ball, you know, being a first down deep in our own defensively territory. And by letting go of that and spilling it to the sidelines, now we're looking at a 4th and 10. Heads up play.
So 4th down now. Urquhart's going to come in to attempt what looks like a 35-yard field goal.
I was keeping an eye on the holder. Remember, that's Milky.
Placement's down. Good kick. Lots of leg, and it is good. Wow, that would have been good from 45 as Urquhart put a charge into that one. It's now Evansville 10, Edgerton nothing from Evansville here on 57 Sports.
Tonight's game,
yes, sir.
2017 Rock Valley Bowl, is being recorded by Wisconsin's 57
I wasn't ready. Hold on.
It will be replayed
okay,
on
I'm ready now.
57 Sports on Sunday at noon. This coming Monday.
Just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. 10-0 our score. Evansville, not exactly, I don't know if you would call it dominant early on. They've been able to move the football, but they scored on a long play, and Edgerton has been able to move the ball. So early on, it doesn't look as one-sided as we might thought it might be tonight.
Well, if you've been watching our coverage of the A1 Furniture Mattress Football Bowl Series, it's been the games where teams are not making those 20-plus yard plays are not winning those games. And we've seen both teams make 20-plus yard plays. So, I mean, 10-0 score right now with 2:15 left in the first quarter. Still, obviously, a lot left to happen in this game. You would say Evansville has this game in control at the moment. Momentum, a real thing.
Absolutely, as a good long kick by Urquhart, as starting way back at about his 2-yard line was Gullickson Neeson, and he just did get it past the 20-yard line. So actually a pretty good kicking game that we're seeing early on from the Blue Devils.
Well, the field position right now for the Crimson Tide, not ideal. They've been starting around their 20, which is, it's pretty average, but you ask more from your return game, and we've seen it from Evansville Albany already. Like, they're starting, the 45-yard line, near midfield. They're having short fields, and it's resulting in points. So Edgerton needs to get some big plays, so we'll see if we get it on this series.
Johnson, the quarterback, in the shotgun, going back, has pressure, and that's because it's a screen. Not sure if he sucked everyone in. As a good job by the Blue Devil defense to recover as they were coming in charging hard, but only a small gain, maybe 4 yards on first down.
Well, Jorgensen hauled that ball in, and it was almost just not quite far enough into his hands as he's trying to run to get past as these defenders are, blitzing the quarterback and trying to get past that level of blockers. And here we go, and now it's a short pickup, but it's an effective play, and you start making the other team honor the fact that they're blitzing.
Give Jorgensen 5 on first down, so a pretty good game. Now Johnson's going to keep it on a little read option, and little nothing. It gets good yardage out to the 39-yard line. 13 yards for Johnson on a Festival Foods first down.
Well, we've seen now 2 plays in a row, Evansville Albany having just like their whole team lined up on the defensive line, and once you break that first line of defense, well, you're picking up those chunks of yardage, which aren't huge plays right now, but maybe they become big plays later in the game, so keep chipping away. That's what you're looking for.
From their own 36-yard line.
Absolutely hot night. We're going to see if the heat actually is going to play a part in this game tonight. We haven't seen so far this year a lot of cramping by players because basically the weather hasn't been warm enough.
That's right.
The first time all season has a big hole straight up the middle, getting chunks of yardage. Mason Simmons on a pickup of 16 and a first down.
Well, Brady Deegan, number 35 on defense, looked like he was playing linebacker on the play. He's actually the DB, so he has to come in and pick up where the linebacker had left a hole. And lucky that play didn't break for more. Ends up being a first down anyway, but a nice job to not let that play become a bigger play. But right now what we're seeing, Edgerton's starting to build something.
Absolutely, and doing it both through the air and on the ground. Another fresh set of downs here, and the give straight up the middle once again, and again, success for Simmons. I was really kind of surprised coming into this game to see that Evansville has been outrushed on this season, almost double, almost to like a 2-1 margin, and that's really weird for a Ron Grovestein coach team.
Well, I mean, what we're seeing right now is even though the defense knew that was a run play, he still picked up 5 yards on the play, right up the middle of the gut, and I mean, the longer the drive plays out, the more tired the defense is getting, and some of the starts to break down. So maybe you play a little bit small ball until something breaks.
Good job by the Tide as well. They are getting good yardage on first down, about 5 yards a pop, as Johnson rolling right now is going to bring it down, still on his feet, steps out of bounds after a pickup of 2 or 3, and it's going to bring up third down as it looks like the first quarter has expired. I thought we had a few more seconds on the clock, but we'll see what the ref said. Just not sure. I thought there were 4 seconds left on the clock. Yep.
Yeah, the official looks like he's calling for that now.
Yeah.
That's another one of those plays, and we see Evansville Albany over here on defense. Like, they recognize the play, and they're getting good pursuit now. They're starting to slow. The last couple plays, they've been recognizing the plays, and now that one a minimal gain. So now with 3rd and 3, this is a big play to decide this drive, whether it's going to be a field goal drive, whether it's going to be a punt, or maybe it's going to be 6.
4 seconds put back on the clock right now. Third down is what we got coming up here. We'll call it 3 for Johnson and company, maybe a long 3 here. Another low snap, as that's happened a few times, but Johnson plenty of time, throws over the middle and too high to a wide open Mason Simmons. Incomplete's going to bring up 4th down when we get back. First quarter in the books, 10-0 Evansville. Let's head down to the sidelines. Jessa standing by.
We're taking a break at the end of the first quarter for a Dale's Heating and Air sideline report, and this is a tough one because it's a very heart-wrenching story and a tough one to talk about, but it's a story I might want to share, and I know Sandy does too, so that we can bring awareness and hopefully some support to this little girl. This is Sandy Spanton Nelson. And Sandy, tell viewers at home, if they're unaware of what's going on, a little bit of the background of Harlow, the shirt you're wearing today.
Well, 2 weeks ago, my granddaughter Harlow Rui Phillips went to the emergency room with a stomach ache, and hours later was diagnosed with advanced stage 4 neuroblastoma in her abdomen, also in her bone marrow. It was a real shock. There was absolutely no preparing for this. We had no idea. And since then, she's been in the hospital now for 2 weeks. She has begun chemotherapy. She has about 6 rounds of that coming. She will then have surgery to try to remove as much of the tumor as they can. And then she will have stem cell transplants, 2 of them, radiation, immunotherapy. I mean, about 7 months of continued therapy and things that she has to have.
That's a lot to undergo for a little girl and the family. And as you can see at home, maybe behind me, there's a lot of folks wearing these shirts in support. It sounds like the community has really come together and the family members. We got one popping in here. And we're going to catch up with a lady named Kim a little bit later in the show to tell you a little bit more about the T-shirts and how you can support. But Sandy, thank you for sharing the story. I'm sorry for your family to go through this, and we're praying for Harlow. So
I would like to add that this is an amazing community, an absolutely amazing community to come together like this and support a little 4-year-old girl.
You bet. Well, we're going to be back. That was our Dales Heating and Air Sideline Report. But don't worry, we've got more on that story during the halftime, so stick with us.
And good stuff from Jessa Jeremiah there as we're in Evansville tonight. Rich Reynolds and Eric Rogers bringing you tonight's Rock Valley Bowl. And we talked a little bit about that hashtag Harlow Strong, and what a heartbreaking story that we can only hope has a heartwarming ending.
I mean, it's always, you know, it touches everybody. You know, it might not be you being affected personally, your individual family, but it's always someone, and I think everyone can relate on some level to that, so it's always great to see people getting involved to help those causes.
Katzenmeyer now on the carry, first down and more as he breaks free across midfield inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, and a pickup of 19 for Logan Katzenmeyer. What an exciting player.
I mean, not only do you see him break arm tackles there and make some juke moves, a nice spin move to get past that extra defender, and man, now we're seeing the Blue Boys. They're not just doing it through the air. I mean, the game is really starting to open up. You're starting to see these teams get more comfortable calling plays and taking some chances. And, man, now the momentum has shifted now over to the Blue Devils.
Funny, Logan actually came up to me before the game, was showing his purple tape off, and was really excited to perform here tonight. He's been putting on a show, and so has Mr. Urquhart. Down the left sideline, one man to beat. He trips over the 15-yard line down to the 12, 32 yards for Sam Urquhart. I thought that he was heading to pay dirt.
Well, you see here on the play, you get a little bit of sweep action as you have 2 players potentially taking that handoff. The defense bit on a run off to the right, and, you know, just going off to the edge, you get Finko, you know, I mean, on the defensive end of things, and Urquhart has been just another one of those electrifying players on this team. And when you get a big play like that, it's going to do a hell of a whole lot for every aspect of the game.
Absolutely. Urquhart, what a game he's having tonight, both kicking, running, everything that he is doing, returning the football as well. We do have an injured player down for Edgerton. We'll come back, tell you about that right after this. Evansville leads here in the second quarter, 10-0 on the A1 Furniture and Mattress High School Bowl Series on 57 Sports. Okay, I can. They look really good, man. Replays look awesome.
He's still there. He's still laying down. They're still there. Okay, he's finally getting up now. He's sitting up. Okay.
Jordan Leitz. I'm ready. And Jordan Leach being helped off the field for Edgerton as he seems to be, okay, you don't want to speculate, but he's limping off with some help right now. And again, I just want to say thank you to Paul Canarella, all the people over at A1 Furniture and Mattress. They are here for us each and every year, and I hope you are there for them as well. A1 Furniture and Mattress, they are your premier mattress and furniture store. 10-0 our score. Evansville looking for more. Another impressive drive here for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, you saw just before the break, you get a nice run off to the left side on a misdirection type of handoff play. I mean, that's what this game's all about. It's about disguising what you're doing, the defense bit, and sometimes you take chances, and it's paying off right now for the Blue Devils.
Milkey rolling left, throws it into the end zone, and what an ill-advised toss as he was looking in the end zone for Mogg, but instead overshot everyone, and it's a big turnover here for Edgerton. They needed it as Dominic Reyes came down with the football.
Yeah, not sure where he was looking on that play in the corner of the end zone, Dominic Reyes. And if you remember, Dominic Reyes was the guy who got beat on the touchdown play earlier in the game, and that's how you bounce back. A sophomore coming in and making a pick like that, tapping both feet down, making absolutely sure that his team is going to take advantage, killing a huge drive for the Blue Devils.
Well, and that might be the break right now that the Edgerton Crimson Tide need. It's not like they're not getting yardage. It's not like they're not moving the football. They need to get scores. Edgerton needs points up on the board, and Jaden Johnson, that man right there, is the guy that's going to have to lead it here. Simmons in motion to give up the middle to Jorgensen, and that went nowhere fast. Stout defense that time by Evansville as knifing through there was big number 78, who is also not on my roster.
Down by number 78, Brandon Lang.
Well, as you saw, I mean, we talked about this in the last drive offensively for Evansville-Albany is when you have the big plays, it helps both aspects or all aspects of your team. And look at the defense coming out and saying, no, we're not going to let this get to us. We may have ended an interception, but we're going to get the ball back for our offense.
Brandon Lang wearing 78 tonight. He is 6'4", 285, and only a junior. As now Johnson flush from the pocket, does a good job of keeping the play alive and then some. Breaks down the left sideline, cuts back, still on his feet. No, he stepped out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. I wanted that call to continue because that run was so much fun. Give Johnson 20 yards and a Festival Foods first down.
I mean, how much do you love a running quarterback? That's the one thing you can't account for as a defense. You might have all your gaps covered, and all of a sudden the quarterback takes off, and lucky that they called him out of bounds. I don't know if that was.
I'm not sure. Looking at the Pacific Union Financial replay, I thought he stayed inbounds. We even had it on the slow-mo there, and it looked like he was inbounds there, but they called him out at the 38, so he's out. And he's back in his shotgun here on first down. Another low snap. That's been happening a lot. And now pressure on Johnson, and he throws it away down the left sideline. There was a receiver in the area, no grounding, and a smart play by Johnson on first down.
So what do you do if you're the Blue Devils? You just have a play like that breaks down. You go back to the same call. Defensively, that looked like the same exact formation. You drop your two slot corners back into coverage, and this time the pressure does get to the quarterback and causes an incompletion.
Great job by the cameras tonight. You take a look at Coach Gregory and his Crimson Tide. Great crowd on both sides of the field tonight. Terrific support, even for teams both struggling right now at 1-3, but there are expectations on both sides. And Johnson is a reason why for the Crimson Tide as he takes off once again as he gets wrapped up at about the 42, and it'll bring up third down.
So sometimes I'm not so sure how the officials want to call this game, because on that tackle, the player came in just a hair late to end that tackle in the pile, and we see it in the NFL. People get called for that, and they get fined. And now I'm like, okay, well, they let them play in high school, which I'm glad. Like, you can't just stop your momentum completely.
I thought that was a little late. It's Johnson coming in now. Big third down here, 3rd and 6, as after the turnover. I think if you're the Crimson Tide, this is you want points here, some kind of points on the board, down 10-0. And a timeout going to be called here And so that allows us maybe a chance to go down to the sidelines. Now, let's take a timeout. It is a U-break. Nope, sidelines. Okay, I think I got this now. Let's do it. Sideline report up next. Let's go to it now.
Taking a break here at the Rock Valley Bowl on the sidelines, thanks to Dale's Heating and Air. And you might be hearing these folks, although you might not see a whole lot of them on camera. We're talking now to the band director, right? This is Amanda Leahy, and thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
So, Amanda, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to introduce who's standing to my left here. But you guys are just a couple days into school and already starting to prepare for homecoming. What's that like?
Well, we spend most of our time outside learning our drill. We've just started in the last couple of days. We're doing a field show of the music of the British rock band Queen this year, featuring Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Bohemian Rhapsody, and We Will Rock You.
What a fun way to spend a halftime. Can't wait for that. That's a lot of fun. And just a couple days in, there's a lot going on. Now, introduce yourselves, your names, and then your positions within the band.
I'm Zach Britton, and I am an alto saxophone player as well as co-drum major.
Anna Nelson, alto/bari saxophone and co-drum major.
So we got a couple saxophone players here, but also being a drum major, it's a lot, I understand. So tell viewers at home, if they're not familiar, a little bit about what you do.
We play a lot of songs. Well, we conduct them, actually. And we're in charge of everyone, and it's intimidating, but it's really fun.
I love it. And there's a lot going on, so there must be a lot to orchestrate back there. What's your favorite thing about being part of the band?
I think my favorite thing is just it's different. I mean, you're not sitting in a classroom all day learning something. You get to play and have fun, and some of the songs, like, you recognize the songs you play. So
you get creative. Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you guys, and you guys sound great, so thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks to Dale's Heating and Air for this sideline report. We'll get back to the game.
Another short punt off the foot of Mason Simmons puts Evansville in great field position once again, and that might be the story of the game so far tonight. It seems like the Blue Devils are always starting in good field position.
Well, we saw the Blue Devils take advantage of that in their first two drives, scoring 7 points and then getting the field goal. But since then, I mean, they had the last drive rolling. They were making big plays. They get into the red zone. And then in ill-advised, I'm not sure where the pass was to into the corner of the end zone. There were only 2 white jerseys there, and it ended up going into Edgerton's hands, but now back to the blue.
And back to Katzenmeyer, and Katzenmeyer streaking down the right sideline, gets a block at the 20, 10-5 touchdown. Logan Katzenmeyer takes it to the house, a gain of 59 yards, and a You Move Me touchdown. Big plays for Big Blue here tonight.
Well, there's one thing you can't account for as a defense, and that is speed. You can get the blocks, and right there, Dominic Reyes just gets shoved over, and that's all they needed to get into the end zone, and the speed does the rest of the way.
5 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown for Logan Katzenmeyer, who has been impressive here tonight. He has shown some power, some elusiveness, and right there, he flashes the speed. Extra point is good by plenty, and with 8 minutes left until halftime, another turn of momentum. Evansville leads 17-0 here on 57 Sports. We are moving ever closer to the Midwest Engine Service halftime show. Midwest Engine Service provides the best auto repair, brake service, tires, transmission, and oil changes in Madison. They believe in placing you, the customer, first, and all their work is guaranteed at Midwest Engine Services. We talked about Blues a little bit earlier on as they provided the treats. The meal provided tonight by Subway of Edgerton and Evansville, and a big thank you to them. As always, they always treat us so well when we're here. Sandwiches, pizzas, chips, sodas, the whole works. So a great job. Cookies as well. Subway of Evansville and Edgerton. 7:53 now until halftime, and I think it's imperative at this point that the Crimson Tide get some points up on the board.
What I'm looking at, if you want the game plan right now, here it is. All right. So Evansville-Albany is going to get the ball in good field position. And they are going to target number 20 on defense as Dominic Reyes. They've gone to him twice and scored touchdowns on him. He did have the one interception, but they are picking on him tonight. So now, as you mentioned, the Crimson Tide need to get rolling.
Good call
Pun intended,
on that.
yes.
Yeah. Grover going after Reyes tonight as it's first down and 10 for Edgerton. Big drive coming up here. Plenty of time till halftime as they're going to give it up the middle as they've yet to really establish a ground game here with their leading rusher, Devin Jorgensen. Just his third carry of the night, and he's got a sum total of 4 yards.
The linebacker, Malcolm Johnson, just popped the runner there. What a big hit, a legal hit, but it's nice when you end a tackle, not just to stop the play, but to send a little bit of message and just the body shots that might build up over time, and that might be what stops Edgerton, or maybe it makes them more motivated to get going in this game.
Great shot of the Edgerton crowd there, the student section in the highlighter colors. Another low snap. Again, that has really slowed down the Crimson Tide tonight as a lot of shotgun snaps coming in at the ankles of Johnson, and that causes that play to be disrupted big time.
Yeah, the center there, Trevor Evans, also plays linebacker, listed at 5'10", 180 pounds, so not the biggest center you're going to see there, but maybe this is something they're focusing on, at least the Crimson Tide. They're like, okay, well, maybe we work on that a little bit more in practice this next week. But nice job so far defensively for Evansville Albany on this drive to not let things kind of get out of hand and say, this is the drive where we're really going to dig in.
Big third down and 6 here for Edgerton. Time in the pocket for Johnson. He steps up, throws, and it's incomplete. Wow. And that one probably should have been caught by Zymet as it went through his hands. That would have been good enough for first down yardage.
I also want to give props to number 5, the running back there, Devin Jorgensen, picked up the linebacker blitz, who was just barreling towards the quarterback and ended up rushing that pass a little bit, which might have had something to do with that incompletion. But if it touches your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah, that should have been a completion. Speaking of props, how about props to the groundskeeping crew here at Evansville Albany? What a beautiful field, well pitched, perfectly green. And speaking of perfect things, how about a punt block right there? The special teams getting it done here tonight for Evansville. Their kicking game's been good. Their return game's been good. And right now, pressure on the punter results in a punt block. And, oh, surprise, surprise, Evansville Albany has good field position to start a drive.
Well, you see it on the replay of the Pacific Union Financial replay. Another bad snap. This time it's too high for the punter. He does haul it in, but that takes valuable time away from your reps and into your rhythm of getting the punt down. And there was nothing he could do there. It's either punt the ball and hope you get it past, or just hold on to it and end up giving them good field position. And what do you do? You know, this time it gets blocked.
Big Evan Bloomer with the punt block, 6'3", 215. Another one of the tall kids here for the Blue Devils. You get a good look there at Zach Milkey. Great job by our camera crew. Milkey, plenty of time, throws right through the hands of Gavin Milkey. I got an inkling they're probably related.
Well, he's listed at 5'9", 130, so not a big guy. The sophomore, maybe trying to get him some reps. He is a quarterback, by the way, as well, so it wouldn't be surprised that maybe sometime down the line, number 1 is calling the plays. But you try to get the brother connection going there, and sometimes you get a little bit nervous when you're about to get hit, and you start looking before you catch.
I think his brother's going to get punched in the arm for dropping that ball tonight. Come on. Brothers don't do that kind of thing?
Nah, because that's assault these
days.
Nice
give up the middle. Tony Pascal's going to bring it down inside the 10-yard line as he's finally dragged down after a pickup of 24 yards and another Festival Foods first down.
One thing I'm noticing here, Rich, is just the line play by the Blue Devils is just, it's almost too much at times. You see big plays bust open like that. Where does it start? It all starts with the offensive line, and you're getting through that first level of defenders, and that's where you get big plays like that. And once again, we're in the red zone or in first and goal.
Runs in the first half for Evansville of 29, 32, 12, 24, 19, and 59.
Yikes.
Big gaping yardage on the ground as on a first down, the give's going to go up the middle and straight through for the touchdown as Tony Pascal A you move me touchdown, a big hole, and Pascal took advantage to hit pay dirt.
Well, here it is. We've seen 2 big touchdown runs so far for EA, and now you start to really get in the head of Edgerton a little bit and saying, all right, well, we're up 23-0 pending the extra point. I mean, you really got to start thinking something rolls here. 5:36 left to go in this first half, and the Red Boys, they got to get something going.
It was 10-0 with that interception that Edgerton got, as the extra point is good. The Crimson Tide could not capitalize, and it's gone south since then. 24-0 Evansville from the Rock Valley Bowl here on 57 Sports. Brennan. Hey, it seems like the volume of my mic has fluctuated a couple times. The heck is going on?
I mean, I can turn my thing up, but then it's like super loud in my headphones, and maybe that's what I'm trying to compensate for.
In upcoming athletic action this week, the Evansville Cross
yeah.
Country
Yeah, it
teams
looks
travel
like
to
it.
Belleville to take part in the Co-Ed Invitational there tomorrow morning. The first race is scheduled to begin at 9
It looks
a.m.
great.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Urquhart to kick off for the Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Devin Jorgensen and Dan Zimet are deep for the Tide.
Hey, if you haven't been to Blow and Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee yet, you need to go. Absolutely delicious food. They also specialize in catering and parties for large and small. Kansas City Barbecue, straight from them to you at Blow and Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee. They also got an amazing patio out there and some great views
Dan
here
Zimet on the
in
return.
the early, or I guess early fall, would be late summer, early
Brought
fall.
down by number
As
18, Nolan
once again,
Giswald.
the Crimson Tide
Number
going to start
85,
kind of
Carson
deep in
Hill.
their own end at about the 21-yard line. The field position battle, not even close tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing right now in this second quarter is the special teams unit for Evansville-Albany is just really, showing their will right here. And something we don't really talk about special teams too often, but I mean, the coverage unit is top notch right now. We saw the blocked punt a little bit earlier. They're making field goals, so I mean, all aspects of the game working right now.
Absolutely. 5:31 till halftime. Big series here for Jaden Johnson and the Tide. Play action, stepping up in the pocket, and runs out of time and driven down once again by big number 78, Brandon Lang, as he has been all over the place, but especially in the backfield of the Tide on a Green Bay Packers give-back sack.
We've talked about big number 78 a couple times here so far tonight, and that's the one thing is we're looking at the Blue Devils in a zone defense there, and you only bring one man on the blitz, and when you're only bringing one man on the blitz, there's not going to be too many areas open to throw that ball, so not much time to get out of there. It results in, as we see, that sack.
You look, Lane got double teamed right there, and that allowed the run to gain some positive yards. That time is down at the bottom of that pile was Becarius Sanders, and Sanders with a pickup on the play of about, we'll give him 7.
Another name we've called a couple times is Malcolm Johnson, the linebacker, number 17 there you see in the middle of your screen. He hung on to the shoelaces of the runner, just giving enough time for some other guys to come in on the play. It results in a 1-yard gain is officially on our scoreboard here. I mean, you can't ask much more than that.
9 for the Tide.
Sanders, 2 carries, 23 yards. You would think he might see the ball a little bit more. It's a good look there at Jaden Johnson and his visor. Plenty of time, throws right and incomplete, as it actually looked like the player who had the best look at that was Carson Hill.
Yeah, Carson Hill tried to jump the route. He is a receiver and a DB. You're going to see him at the bottom of your screen come back and try to jump into the route, and then I'm not sure if the receiver got a hand in there to break that up or not, but he got a body on the ball. That should have been a pick.
Yeah, it looked like it hit Hill in the shoulder pad as that was fired in there by Johnson.
These are the things that really good teams pick apart. They look at that film and say, guys, I know we had X number of turnovers. We could have had one more.
Urquhart deep for the punt, the best punt of the night. Urquhart takes it at the 40-yard line, going to try the right side line, turns on the Jets across midfield to the 45, 40, 20-yard punt return by Urquhart. And he's had himself one heck of a night tonight. What an explosive player.
We've seen that a few times. We've seen, again, as we mentioned, the field position game, huge. And when you get a team to a 3 and out, you get sacks on the quarterback, you're going to force them to punt from deep in their own territory. And what does it result? Well, you get the ball on your opponent's 39-yard line. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would guess the average starting field position for EA has got to be on their opponent's side of the field.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. That's unbelievable. As a 1st and 10 here with a 24-point lead for Milky, looks left, fires, and right through the hands of Mogg. That is his second drop of the night.
I mean, he's a big boy, 6'5", 205, the tight end, plays defensive end as well. A sophomore, though, I mean, that's a point where you start looking at your guys and saying, we expect you to make these plays, and this is the stuff that, you know, if you want to become a leader on this team moving forward in your career, I mean, we got to make it happen. We'll fix it. Right now we're up 24-0, so we're not going to yell too much at you, but 3:44 left in this first half. I mean, they're trying to keep running it up.
They might yell just a little bit, as just want to say thank you to 10 Pin Alley. They offer more than just bowling. 10 Pin Alley in Fitchburg. Let the good times roll. The Tide not rolling right now. It is the Blue Devils who have been rolling, as on second down, not much there. And that's as stout as the Tide defense has looked all night long. Nice play by Jordan Leach back on the field after being walked off earlier.
I'll give these teams, both these teams, credit. What we haven't seen so far is the frustration and the rivalry part of it, the hatred, you know, of cross-team rivals. We haven't seen any of that intensity come out after the plays. It's been a pretty clean game in terms of penalties called and none of these guys going out of their, you know, out of their role and extracurriculars. So a nice job on that end of things, but you love the intensity sometimes.
And definitely young men who all know each other. It's on 3rd and long. It's going to be a running play, and Urquhart is real close to first down yardage on the pitch. And I don't know if that's going to bring the sticks out. I think he's about a half-yard shy.
Well, that's what you do, is you get the first block there at that first level, and it's just like baseball when you get hit by a pitch, and it's like in football, you get hit really hard, you just pop right back up, you don't rub your shoulder, you just go right on to first base, or in this instance, back to the sideline, back to the huddle. Let's move on to the next play.
You cannot rub it unless you want the guys to say all kinds of things about you, and most of them not flattering. 4th and 1, the Blue Devils going to go for it. Pascal's going to get the carry. Left side, he has first down yardage and more. Inside the 25 to the 23, 7 yards and another Festival Foods. First down on another 4th down that Evansville went for it.
Well, how demoralizing has that got to be for a defense? It's 4th and 1, you know it's going to be a running play, you're stacking the box, and still the edge, they hold on to the edge and get the guy out there for, what, 6 yards or so for that first down. So it's another one of those plays, like, how much more could we have done to break that film down and say, I thought we had our assignments.
Talk about pounding the rock. Katzenmeyer, 95 yards. Pascal, 63. Urquhart, 68 here in the first half. Big yardage on the ground. Milky now trying to get some through the air. Rolling right as he ran out of time, and it forced a bad throw in the direction of Sam Hagley.
Yeah, he had Hagley open, but again, I mean, you get the pressure there late as you're rolling out to your right, and trying to float that in there over the head of the defender, not an easy play to make, but you saw as that play was starting to develop, all the defenders on the left side of the field, so you start that bootleg action and roll out to the right. You think maybe something will open up there, so good defense for Edgerton.
That play won't make our list of plays of the game, but we already have a few candidates for the Jacobson brothers. Plays of the game. Jake's brats are made by hand. They'll see you at the counter.
Nice shot there. Good work, camera crew.
Get to peer right into the backfield of the Blue Devils. Milky over the middle, and a man wide open. Hagley once again and overshot him. Unfortunately, wow, that looked like an easy 6.
Yeah, Milky is kind of being inconsistent tonight, so he'll hit those big bombs to Hagley early, and then some of these wide open plays are like just questionable. Where were you throwing that type plays? He's not a guy who's going to throw he's completing 55% of his passes this year.
3rd and 10 for the Blue Devils.
Tonight he's 3 for 8. He's missed on his last 5. It includes an interception as well, so we'll see if he can get it back. Throws towards the end zone, bobbling, and it looks like Hagley got it this time. Looked like the same exact play, but this time Hagley comes down with it at the 1-yard line, 21 yards and a first down.
A little reminiscence of the Packers 2010 Super Bowl. You throw the pass down the middle of the field, maybe not same circumstances, but you throw the ball to Jordy Nelson, he drops it, you go right back to him, ends up being a big first down. And we were just talking about a little bit of inconsistencies. You couldn't have drawn that one up any better or hoped for a better outcome considering those circumstances. My goodness, I mean, hats off to him. I mean, 4 interceptions. By the way, the interception earlier in the game for Milky, that was only his 4th of the year.
Yeah, he has thrown more touchdowns than interceptions, more than a 2-to-1 ratio for Milky so far. As right now, Milky milking the clock here as we're inside of a minute to give to Pascal. Good line push this time by Edgerton, but it's not enough as Pascal is able to break the plane, get the ball into the end zone, and another 6 for Evansville, and once again, a You Move Me touchdown.
Well, that's how you draw it up. You just bundle everybody right up there on the line, and it's just a battle of whose line is going to be more powerful. And as we've seen, that's been kind of the theme of the first half. That's Evansville-Albany's offensive line has just been better. I mean, it's not necessarily come down to coaching. Sometimes it's just who you have.
And tonight, who the Blue Devils have playing better than who the Crimson Tide has, as it looks like the Blue Devils missing a player. They're going to need to burn a timeout. Well, we'll come back then for the extra point, as it is a U-Break iFix Madison timeout. 54 seconds left till halftime. All Evansville here in the Rock Valley Bowl on 57 Sports. Doing all right. I seem like I'm pressing. I don't know why my volume is doing what it's doing. I don't know. Does it? Okay. Maybe it's just me. I gotta. I feel like I gotta push my voice.
I don't hear you like fluctuating.
You don't
volume.
All right, then it's in my headset.
And on Thursday, September 21st, the Purple Knights from Beloit Memorial High School.
Talked about it earlier. It is probably the hottest night we have had out of our first 5 weeks here doing the A1 Furniture and Mattress High School Bowl Series. It's one of the few times, if you look, see in high def here on these close-ups, you can see bugs flying around. We haven't seen that all year yet because it's been down in the 50s every night.
Yeah, you wouldn't say, hey, week 5, we'll finally start getting summer weather.
It has been a while. We thought we'd have that early on. Instead, it is hot here tonight, and Evansville hot as well. 31-0 is our score as we are nearing halftime. It will be the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. Make sure you stick around for that. The girls got a lot to bring you during halftime. Speaking of a lot to bring you, how about 5 lines for $100 a month? That's the Friends and Family mobile plan from Cricket Wireless. Switch to Cricket and get more for less. By the way, if you saw our coin toss early on, it was brought to you by Monona Bank. They're not just your neighborhood bank, they're your neighbors. Monona Bank, today's mortgage rates, true mobile banking, and community involvement. So also want to say thank you to everybody bringing us the game tonight, the camera people, Brennan directing the game as well. Looks fantastic, as we're really proud to be able to bring you such a high-quality presentation each and every week.
Well, you're seeing the effects from the lights and just finally a Friday night lights, and it doesn't get any better than this, and a great venue, a couple of great teams. Edgerton obviously would like to change things around here before the end of the first half, but I mean, Evansville-Albany, really everything's rolling for them, and I mean, what can you say about their game that a little bit inconsistent on passes from time to time?
That's about it. As a good kick, as Jorgensen's going to take it way back at the 5-yard line and only get back to about the 16-yard line. Yeah, I just wanted to say, too, to the community of Evansville, I know they show up a lot on the sports news. We get a chance to talk to them quite a bit, but they roll out the red carpet for us each and every time that we come down to Evansville. Always love making this trip. Such a beautiful little downtown, great community. They do a great job for us.
I mean, I grew up in Oregon, so not far away from Evansville. I know we used to come here for car shows during the summer. So, yeah, I mean, they got a lot going on. I mean, I think it's a little bit of an underappreciated community at times. Like, you don't say, well, I'm going to go vacation in Evansville.
Right.
I mean, that's changing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love coming down here. So, looks like Edgerton just going to be happy to try to get it to halftime as Jorgensen straight up the middle. Nothing's there, and that's nothing new. It has been tough sledding for Jorgensen here tonight. In fact, 6 carries, and we have him for 5 yards.
Well, I guess the good news for the Crimson Tide is they will get the ball back for the start of the second half. So if whatever they're trying to establish here, maybe they go into the halftime and say, all right, what's our plan? What's our first drive in the second half to really get things going? And maybe we start just chipping away at one little thing, just focus on one positive at a time.
It is going to be Johnson taking him himself. He's not going to find anything. Tell you what, Evansville started the season off 0-3. They won their last game. They are playing inspired football here tonight. 31-0. Evansville leads Edgerton here at halftime of the Rock Valley Bowl. Time now for the Midwest Engine Service halftime show. Let's set it down to the ladies.
Thanks, guys. We have some great interviews coming up at halftime thanks to Midwest Engine Services, don't we, Jessa?
Yeah, we're going to have a fun time. We've got the brand new first-year principal who was
Awesome.
principal at the middle school most recently. We've also got the seniors of the cheer team, and they're going to talk about kitty camp. You might have saw those little wee ones on the sidelines doing some cheers. So cute.
So cute.
We've also got some tough stories that we're going to continue to follow up with. It is Cancer Awareness Month, so we're going to talk about what some of the T-shirts that are here tonight mean and how you can support at home.
Awesome stuff. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the Midwest Engine Services halftime show right after this. Welcome back to the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. And you might know that this is Cancer Awareness Month, and we have a really special interview coming up tonight. This is Caitlin West. Caitlin is a senior here at Evansville, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her brother's story and kind of how the community has rallied together with her family. Caitlin, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to be here, too.
It's great to have you here. And let's just start off for everybody at home. Tell me a little bit about your brother and everything that's going on with him.
About 2.5 years ago, he was diagnosed the first time, and he went through chemo for about a year, and they had to replace his bone in his leg and put a port in and all that. And then he was cancer-free for about a year, and then it came back, and it's spread pretty much everywhere. So.
And your brother Matthew is 13 now, is that right?
Yep.
And where is he at now in the process?
Since it's pretty much everywhere, the doctor said there's not a lot they can do, so we put him through a ton of detoxes and mental health stuff to see if his body will just get rid of it by itself. So.
And there's so many ways for people to get involved at home if you're interested. Tell the folks at home if they do want to donate or they just want to reach out and show support, how can they do that?
We have a cousin named April Kundert or one of my mom's friends, Stacy Wagner. They usually set up a lot of fundraisers and stuff for us. So.
That's perfect. And you can find April Kundert on Facebook if you would like to donate or learn how you can help. Caitlin, thank you so much for being with us, and we're keeping your family and your brother in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back more here with the Midwest Engine Services halftime show right after this.
Welcome back to the A1 Furniture Rock Valley Bowl. Thanks so much to Midwest Engine Services for helping us take this break. A couple of tough topics here tonight. You might have heard us catch up with Sandy earlier during the first half about Harlow, and that's Harlow's grandmother. Joining me now is Kim. She is a family member as well and also a teacher here at Evansville. So thanks for being with us this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So this is a tough story for a number of reasons, but I want to highlight the support and some of the positive things that are going on here in this community. There's a lot of folks wearing the t-shirt that you have on this evening. Tell us a little bit about it.
The t-shirt actually was organized by one of the women that works with Melanie at the bank at UB&T. She organized it last Tuesday. We had shirts starting to order on Wednesday, and they have been flying off the shelves. The Sandy at So Many Threads has been absolutely incredible. People are calling in. She's sold over 600 shirts as of 5 o'clock this afternoon, and she still has to print the ones that are being mailed to people all over the country. So when you talk about community support, Melanie and Andy have family and friends all over the country, and people have reached out like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It's incredible to see that, and the community really come together. Usually a sea of blue here at the game. You're seeing a lot of black and purple. What's the meaning behind the colors?
Well, actually gold is Cancer Awareness Month for children, but purple is Harlow's favorite color. So we went with black and purple.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's folks at home that are interested in still purchasing a t-shirt, I wanted to mention this goes directly to the family, and there's a lot of care that is needed for this family and expenses. So are they still able to do that?
Absolutely. If you want to order a t-shirt, you can call Sandy at So Many Threads. That's 882-0287. There's also a fund set up at Union Bank and Trust. You can send checks directly to Union Bank and Trust, made out to Harlow Strong. Otherwise, there's a Harlow Strong Facebook page, and there's a direct PayPal link to that account right in Facebook. It's for people that are far away.
Well, it couldn't go to a better cause, and we're just so sorry to hear about this story. Praying for Harlow, as I know folks are at home. So thank you for sharing the story.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We're going to go to break. We've got more Midwest Engine Services halftime show right after this.
Welcome back to the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. With me now, I have got those Edgerton seniors. I'm excited to have you guys here tonight. You are all dressed up in neon. How do you guys come up with your themes?
Well, we posted a poll on a Facebook group page that we have, and let the people in the student section vote. Okay. Then the majority gets the win. So
what were the options for tonight?
Well, tonight it was neon, camo blaze orange,
white trash gangster,
and togas.
Togas. Very wide variety, guys. That's super fun. And you all are seniors, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Football is such a big part of senior year. What are you guys looking forward to the most being seniors and leading the student section?
Homecoming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's always a blast, I'm sure. Yep. And how about as far as cheers go? You guys get to lead the cheers. Do you guys have a favorite one that you could show me? Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Jesus loves the Crimson Tide. Jesus loves the Crimson Tide. Jesus loves the Crimson Tide.
I love it. Again, these are Edgerton seniors. Thank you, guys. And we'll be back more with the Midwest Engine Services halftime show right after this. Welcome back to the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. With me now, I have a proud Edgerton mama of one of the athletes tonight. This is Kathy Bavery. She's one of the parents of the athletes, Tyler, who's number 66, aka T-Bave. Is that right, guys? T-Bave, aka T-Bave. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Now tell us a little bit about Tyler's position. What's he playing tonight?
Guys? Defensive line.
All right, I love it. I love it. And now, obviously, football is such a big part of a senior's career and everything, you know, that high school involves. How fun has it been to watch your son play this year and to be out on the field?
Oh, it's been great. I love watching my kids in their sports, and it's been a really fun time so far.
And it sounds like you've got a good one, because I think I've only heard good things about Tyler from all of these kids around here tonight. So you've got to be really proud.
Yes, I'm very proud. This is their friend. This is his friends.
Oh, I love it. I love Love it. And we'll be chatting with them next, so you're not going to want to miss it. Stay with us. Thanks for being with us, Kathy. And we'll be back with the Midwest Engine Services halftime show right after this.
Welcome back to the Midwest Engine Services halftime show. We are at the Rock Valley Bowl. If you're just tuning in, home team is Evansville, and joining me now is Jason Knott, the Evansville High School principal. How are you today?
Great. Can't think of a better place to be on a Friday night than a high school football game in Evansville.
You bet. Lots of families out here, yours included. So it's been a fun evening thus far. And I wanted to introduce you, actually, for folks who might not know. This is your first year as high school principal, but not your first year as principal. Share that.
Correct. I spent the previous 3 years as principal of the middle school here in Evansville and just moved up to the high school recently and loving everything about it here in my first month on the job.
Great community to be involved in, I'm sure, on both levels there. I want to highlight that your homecoming is, I can't believe we're already talking homecoming. It's coming up pretty soon. What are you guys doing to prepare?
Yep, so the week of the 25th is homecoming week. We're going to start off the week with a Powder Puff football game, our annual Powder Puff game on Monday night. We'll have the boys playing volleyball on Wednesday, and then Friday night we'll be hosting the East Troy Trojans for the football game and the dance on Saturday night. And, you know, homecoming is one of those things in a small community like Evansville. It's just a great part of the community to see folks come back home, and it's something truly special to be a part of.
You bet. Well, first year on the job, you got to dive right in. Homecoming coming up, and lots of great things. We've just had such a welcoming experience here on the sidelines. So thanks so much for making us feel at home. We love covering this team.
Great to have you. Thank you.
All right, we've got more coming up on the other side of this break. Thanks to Midwest Engine Services. We're at the Rock Valley Bowl. Stay right there. Welcome back. We're at the Rock Valley Bowl, taking a break here during halftime thanks to the Midwest Engine Services. And you may have seen the cheer team doing a knockout job on the sidelines tonight. You guys are fantastic. I want to introduce to you Ava and Courtney, two seniors on the team. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, one of my favorite parts of this evening was watching those adorable kitties, the little ones, do some cheer, and you guys were so helpful, and it was great. So talk to us a little bit about Kitty Camp.
We do Kitty Camp every year as a fundraiser for the cheer team. And so every year we take a day after school, we go straight over to the elementary school and we teach the kids some of our cheers, some of our favorite ones and the ones that they really get into. And then we give them little t-shirts and we get them ready for the game, and then they come over and cheer with us before the game starts.
I can't imagine how much they must love that. I bet you guys do too, but to be able to look up to you guys like that, it's awesome. Now, I want to talk a little bit about you guys specifically. You have a competition coming up. What's that going?
Yes, our competition is actually November 4th this year. It's in Beloit Turner, and we compete against all other Rock Valley cheer teams. So it's just, football competes with Rock Valley, and it's just something nice for us to have a way to get off the sidelines and to really showcase what our abilities are.
Wow, and you don't want to brag on yourself, so I'll have to do it. Courtney actually choreographed that routine, didn't you? Ava, I'm sorry. Ava choreographed that routine. That's incredible. Yeah. Good for you. You guys are great. I appreciate it. It's been fun chatting with you. We'll continue to watch you on the sidelines throughout the game.
Thank you.
We've got more Rock Valley Bowl after this. We'll see you in a minute.
Time for the second half of the Rock Valley Bowl from Evansville. Rich Reynolds joined by Eric Rogers this week, and it was utter domination in all phases of the game for the Blue Devils in half number one.
I mean, you're the one with the stats. I'm just looking at, the mood of the game, and the eye test tells me Edgerton is going to, receive this ball and say, all right, new game. We're just going to say, forget about everything that happened that first half. It's 0-0 in our mind. Let's chip away, try to come away with points in this first half, and maybe it turns into something down the line. But it has been a struggle here, to say the least, for Edgerton.
Evansville, 248 yards rushing in the first half.
Yikes.
Just 68 for Edgerton. 73 through the air for Milky and company. Johnson and company with 35. So total yards 321 to 103, plus a lot of special teams yards in there as well. The turnover battle, believe it or not, belongs to the Crimson Tide. 1-0 with that interception. So I guess turnovers don't always tell the story.
Well, I mean, there was the punt blockage for Evansville Albany, so we can count that one as well. But I mean, look, you see the ball there. What is that, about the 32-yard line? The Edgerton Crimson Tide are going to start, and it might be their best starting field position here tonight. So, I mean, that's a positive start.
One of the best for him, and definitely the best after a kickoff. And we'll see if Jaden Johnson, who just had 2 completions in 8 attempts, if he can come out throwing a little bit better this half, as his first pass is going to be incomplete as it hits the ground.
Well, again, Carson Hill, the DB on the coverage there, just a sophomore, is how many times we've said that. I mean, a lot of youngsters making plays here tonight for both teams, but Carson Hill, the DB, read that play right from the beginning, and a low pass hauled in, but or attempted to be hauled in, and it was nice coverage there from Hill, and you're seeing some play recognition for the Blue Devils definitely picking up here. And so this is where, at the half, you kind of see what the coaches come up with.
2nd and 10 here as Johnson lost the handle on the snap, and as he was going down, he got rid of the football. There was a receiver in the area, but a late flag coming out. I'm not sure if that's grounding. I don't think it was, as Simmons was in the vicinity.
Was pressured by number 17,
so we'll see what. No, they're going to wave off the flag, and indeed, Simmons was there. It was thrown right at his feet.
Yeah, I mean, he's inside the tackle. The ball didn't get to the line of scrimmage, so 2 of the 3 things you look for were there. But yeah, as you said, a receiver in the vicinity does negate anything. That was a heads-up play, and that was kind of blown up from the beginning. So again, not the start Edgerton looking for on this drive, but what they can't afford is a 3-and-out.
3rd and 10, big one here. By the way, we're still looking for our offensive and defensive MVPs, brought to you by Brunzell Lumber and Little Stroke Swim Academy, respectively. Pass complete out to Simmons in the flat. Had a blocker for a moment, lost him. He gets out to the 35, maybe the 36. Short gain and not enough for a first down.
At the bottom of your screen, you see number 3, Tyler Asen, the DB. Right before the ball was snapped, he made a check to his other DBs and said, hey, I'm switching coverage here to the outside receiver, which ended up meaning he was the guy taking on the blocker on that play, which allowed his teammates to come to his rescue and really stop that play before it got too far anywhere.
Everything going right for Evansville as you take a look at the scoreboard. Our game clock brought to you by Super Trooper
Another
Motors.
block.
As another blocked punt. Unbelievable. Simmons able to get it back. He is dragged down. The special teams continue to impress here tonight for the Blue Devils. You take a look on the replay, and a great job breaking in on the dive and getting the block punt. Brady Deegan.
That's who I had on that as well. Kind of tough to see with a flash across the screen was number 35, and man, just when you said it couldn't get any worse for Edgerton, I don't even know where you go from here. I mean, the defense is going to come on the field and say, geez, I mean, at least we had halftime to catch our breaths, but you got to give us a chance here.
And how's this for field position? They've had good field position all night, none better than the 24-yard line of the Crimson Tide. On 1st and 10, Zach Milkey still under center for Evansville, as he is going to roll out play action now, looking to his left. Still has plenty of time trying to find someone. He'll take it down and run. And why not? He has room. Crosses field here to the near side and gets down to about the 21-yard line. Lots of dancing and prancing for 3 yards.
Yeah, all the time in the world in the pocket. And you see, this is the biggest pocket I think I've ever seen in the history of football. And but, you know, credit to the Crimson Tide to at least take away the defensive, or anyone in the secondary there to maybe throw the ball to, and Milkey runs about 30 yards on the play and ends up not gaining anything.
Are you surprised here with a 31-point lead that Evansville comes out looking to throw here on their first play of the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's one of those, well, we got to try some things. We're trying to,
they do it
get
again.
Out of this first and 1-3 record.
Milkey's pass is complete.
Not sure as Katzenmeyer makes the catch, but right where he made the catch, a flag in the area. And again, our flag's brought to us by Courtesy Ford in Sauk Prairie. At Courtesy Ford, it's courtesy that counts. Also, as you see on the flag, is going to work against Evansville. I was talking about Super Trooper Motors. They bring us our game clock. $10 for an oil change.
What?
Yeah, at Super
Wow.
Trooper Motors. Yeah, I think I'm going to take advantage of
All
that
right.
deal.
Well, I mean, that sounds good.
That's good stuff. Can't even do it yourself for that price.
No kidding.
$10 for an oil change. Super Trooper Motors, our thanks again to them for bringing us our game clock. So a holding call is going to be marched off. It is just our third flag of the night. Not a lot of penalties or turnovers really to speak of in this game. So it's been kind of a clean game. It's just straight up the line play of Evansville, along with everything else, has gone their way.
Well, and you mentioned Evansville coming out in passing formations and trying to perhaps run up the clock, but I think it's more of a situation where, I mean, we're 1-3. We really want to get that second win in a row and start to put things together and have the expectations that people thought at the beginning of the year.
There are
Two flags now on the plays. Katzenmeyer got a big gain on second down. I think there was another hold in there. I'm not sure what the second flag is, though, as the refs are starting to sort this one out. And they've actually done a pretty good job tonight of getting this stuff done. And holdings are called, then a personal foul, and it looks like we'll have offsetting penalties here.
Which, again, one of the worst rules in football, offsetting penalties, replay the down. But it always, you know, that's one of those, it totally benefits the offense to have the offsetting penalties, but that's the way you call it right now. And I mean, this drive, and you think you get the blocked punt and what a gift of field position you have and working the wrong way.
So I guess they don't really offset. So they marched off the 10 for the hold, and now are marching off 15. So both penalties are going to count. Okay. So Mark Martinez is actually, and he's not here today. He's in Italy. So he's in Rome tonight.
Yeah.
And I almost wish that I could call him and say, what the heck is that? Because he's been coaching the last few years and coaching high school football as a head coach at Madison Abundant Life. He knows the rules like the back of his hand, and he'd be able to explain. Now, in college football and the NFL, those are offsetting penalties. We just replay the down, do it again. I don't know why this got marched off the way it did, or why they had to march off the 10 and then the 15 instead of going
Math
5.
is hard, you know?
Yeah, you know. I don't understand, I guess, but Mark would have been able to explain why they just did what they did. And after all of that, it's 2nd and 10. It was 2nd and 15, so I guess that kind of makes sense.
All right, well, incomplete pass, let's say, and just call it that.
Milky now out in the flats, has Katzenmeyer, breaks the tackle, gets down to the 20, gain of 4, his second catch of the night on a nice pitch and catch from Milky. Milky now 6 out of 11 on the night. So that quarterback rating and completion percentage going up a little bit here for the quarterback.
Evansville-Albany's offensive line has given him a huge pocket all night and not really under pressure too much. And it's resulting in some of these dink and dunk type plays, but I mean, here we go. It's time to put some points on the board, I guess, if you're
3rd and long, and look at Pascal. Tony Pascal just barrels his shoulder, lowers his head, and gets a Festival Foods first down on a pickup of 8, and that was a power run.
What's one of the criticisms of Mike McCarthy coach Packers offense? 3rd and long, draw play. Sometimes it works, and you look like a genius. Other times, there's a lot of complaints. Here, it's Evansville-Albany. I think this is them trying to, establish some things for the future of the season. And 31-0, not saying it's a guarantee they win this game, but they have some chances to work some things.
Play action now. Milky under pressure, rolls right, looks to the end zone, and finds his man, Hegley, in the end zone. His 2nd touchdown grab of the night, and the lead grows for the Blue Devils on the You Move Me touchdown.
13 yards on that completion for the touchdown, and man, that Milky to Higley connection really just dominated, and even had 2 receivers on the play.
Wow, beautiful look at that.
As Katzenmeyer was calling for it on the back end of the end zone, but man, when you have 2 great options like that, number 11 definitely emerging as maybe that offensive MVP for Evansville here tonight.
And once again, picking on the sophomore Dominic Reyes, who was there
Yikes.
on coverage. Extra points good. 38-0 is our score. Got some people in purple on the sidelines. Let's send it there now. Ellen, take it away.
We're taking a break from the game with another Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. And with me now, I have some Evansville seniors. And I've got to ask you guys, what is up with the Penguin?
The Penguin was around about 4 years ago. Has been in the garage of Maddie. It's collected some bird poop, and we decided to bring it out to the game today. We kind of use it, wave it around a little bit, and it just gets everybody pumped up and ready for the game and all the action.
I love it. It's a little rough around the edges, but you can tell it's been used for love.
Yeah,
lots of love, lots of love. And I want to know a little bit more about what your guys' theme is tonight. I see a lot of Team Harlow shirts, a lot of purple.
We decided to do a Team Harlow theme for the football game tonight. Harlow is a young girl that was in the community who recently has cancer, and everyone came out to support her today at the game. We decided to wear black and purple if you didn't have a Harlow shirt, and just see that there's a ton of people today at the game that have come to support her, and it's great to see in the community.
I have to say, it's pretty amazing to see here in the community, just all the people that rallied together, and the student community as well, so that is awesome. And before we go, I want you guys to leave us with a cheer. Let's hear it.
Here we go, Devils, here we go! Here we go, Devils, here we go! Here we go, Devils, here we go!
Thank you guys, appreciate it. And that was the Dale's Heating and Air sideline report, and let's head back to the game.
And a nice job by Ellen bearing the brunt of that cheer there on a hot summer night. Yeah. Good field position for the Crimson Tide. That's the good news. The bad news is the clock is now running continuously. It's 38-0 Evansville. They're doing it on the ground, through the air. Impressive performance tonight, especially for a team that started off 0-3. There's a lot of fight and a lot of talent on this football team.
I mean, we talked about how important that first drive would be for the Crimson Tide out of halftime to establish something, get some form of points. It ends up with the blocked punt and then the touchdown. And now what do we have? As you mentioned, the running clock. So not only is the score against you, the clock is against you. You have to go away from your game plan a little bit because you're going to have to pick up chunks of yardage. So it makes the defense kind of have a better idea of what you're going to do. So not a good idea, or not a good part of the game when it gets to be 35-0.
Absolutely not. And Edgerton is a team that really struggled in the last few years. Now, in 2013, they were 7-0 in conference. It was the last time that they beat Evansville. But since that time, this is a team that's managed no more than 3 conference wins in any one season, as this time a pass complete as it was out in the flats to Hunter Riley, as Riley finally makes his first catch of the night and goes for 13 yards and a first.
Yeah, Edgerton comes out in their 2-minute offense, or at least their quick-paced offense, to try and get things moving, and you start actually moving the football in the passing plays, and an interesting form of huddle is what they're doing here. It almost looks like they're in the actual get down into the line formation, but when you're taking the knee for the huddle.
Great shot, and a look at Jaden Johnson there as he rolls right, avoids the pressure, and finds his man Zymet out in the flats. Good for another first down, second catch of the night for Zymet.
Malcolm Johnson, the linebacker for Evansville Albany, in on all kinds of plays the last few downs, but the problem with that is they're picking on it. They're going into that second line of defense, into the linebacking core, and it's working for Edgerton right now, and finally able to move the ball, but now you start thinking, is it too late? Because we've already had 2 minutes coming off the clock on this drive.
It is absolutely too late. I'm going to call it now, but Edgerton facing Broadhead Judah next week as they return home, then at Bigfoot. Both of those winnable games against the bottom of the conference. So if you're Coach Gregory, you're looking for something to build on for the next couple of weeks here. Timeout. Let's take it with them. A U break, I fix Madison timeout. 38-0 here in Evansville on 57 Sports. Yes. All right.
In other upcoming Blue Devils athletic
Student
events
body
this
out
week,
in
the varsity
force
volleyball
for
team will take
Edgerton
take
tonight
part in the
as they made the
invitational
short
tournament
trip on over in their
Middleton High
highlighter
School.
colors.
They're due
Not
to
a
get
lot of
underway
highlights tonight
at
for
8
the
o'clock.
Crimson Tide as they trail here at 38-0.
Yeah, they had that second quarter interception from Dominic Reyes, but the rest of the night has been disappointing to say the least for the Crimson Tide. But they've started to get some things going on this drive with the clock ticking and that mercy rule.
Johnson going to air it out deep down the right sideline, overshoots his man. You know, we talk about the way this program and this rivalry has gone in the last few years. For Edgerton, a real struggle. They went 1-8 last year. Evansville 8-1 in the conference. It was a 41-3 Evansville win. 2 years ago, Evansville's overall record 10-1. Edgerton at 3-6, and Evansville a conference winner then. 2014, Evansville at the top of the conference. They went 5-1, 6-4 overall. Edgerton struggled 2-4 in conference play, but that 2013 season was real special for the Crimson Tide, going undefeated here in the Rock Valley Conference as Johnson throws into the flats and has a man at the 30 down to the 20-yard line, and a good pickup that time as the pass was complete out in the flat to Gullickson Neeson as he gets the ball to the 17 and picks up 19.
Well, you see at the bottom of your screen, number 22, the senior defensive back Brady Marquis tries to jump the route and take a risk on the play, and it didn't work to his benefit. And now, like we've kind of been saying on this drive, Edgerton moving the football, but no matter whether it's a complete pass or an incompletion, the clock will continue to run. Just between these two teams, I mean, Evansville-Albany was coming into the season hoping to win their 4th straight Rock Valley Conference title. They started 0-3. They pick up a win last week, and now here they are on their way to a second win.
As
Ball's
Johnson
on the ground.
fumbles, the snap, it goes on the ground, and then he's able to fall on it. And you talk about it, I mean, there's high expectations here in Evansville seemingly every year. It's justified. It's kind of surprising as we're seeing them for the first time tonight, how much talent they actually have on the field, both in their quarterback play, their running backs, their wide receivers, and even line play. Everything seems to be in order for Evansville. I'm surprised they're not at the top of the conference.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we were talking about this actually before we left the station to come to this game about the schedule they had. So Evansville-Albany had, some of the 3 of the best teams on their schedule.
Clinton and Jefferson in there. They're both undefeated, and, it was the tough losses.
So, I mean, when you're up against the very big boys, the first 3 weeks, I mean, you get challenged right away. Are you able to rise to the challenge? And is your off-season preparation up to the task? And
for the Tide.
So far, I mean, it wasn't. But now we're kind of seeing things come together, and the season's certainly not over for either of these teams. But as we talked about in the pregame, definitely a momentum shifter of sorts.
Pressure on Johnson. He runs right, is able to gain positive yardage, still on his feet inside the 20 and down to about the 12-yard line. Pickup of 11 for Johnson and a first down, and a nice job by the junior quarterback to change field, break a tackle, and get some much-needed yardage.
Sometimes I think, Rich, when you have a game plan and it's not going your way, but then you get to this point in the game where it's desperation, you aren't thinking as much about the plays. You're just almost like backyard football. You're just seeing what works. It almost works to your benefit, and you're seeing them kind of chug along and chip away at this, but they've also spent about 5.5 minutes on this drive.
I actually thought it was a first down. Instead, it is a 3rd and 5, so I was off the mark a little bit, and Johnson is on that pass as well, and it's going to bring up a 4th down as the Crimson Tide still looking to put some points on the board here. Well, for Evansville, looking ahead, their schedule the rest of the way, there is nobody on the schedule with more than 1 win except for East Troy. They get them right here. In fact, this is the start, basically, for Evansville of 3 out of 4 games at home. So a lot of home games. They'll get East Troy at home, and the rest of their schedule sets up nicely for them to run the table.
Well, also the one thing that we brought up earlier in our broadcast was the loss of receiver Geske. So when you're without one of your top receivers, you're seeing them still get it done tonight. I mean, 38-0's going to look impressive if Edgerton doesn't score. But when you don't have one of your top players, you kind of got to hope, all right, later in the season, is he going to be healthy? You don't rush him back. Let's make sure we just take care of business and our guys are back and healthy when the games really, really count.
Big fourth down here, and Gullickson Nason unable to hold on as he had the ball jarred loose. The pass was on the money, but a good hit, and it's a turnover on downs.
Love those slow replays.
Isn't that great? I mean, our production team does such a great job on these games, and you get to see like the story unfold. You get to see the looks into the backfield, the quarterback's eyes, and then you get to see the slow motion replay as well. So really proud to be part of such a great production that we have here. Good stuff as you look at the Edgerton sideline. They're not too happy as, again, this program looking for some kind of jolt, some kind of turnaround, as it's been tough for them over the last few years.
Yeah, Edgerton only returning 4 seniors this year. So as you know, the coach mentioned, Coach Gregory, before the game, I mean, we're a young team and a lot of learning kind of unfolding this year, and whether that results in wins. I mean, obviously you'd like to win those games, but sometimes you have to just look at the positives and kind of go small story on this.
They do need some of that as Gabriel Dienberg gets the carry, his first of the night. He got 3 yards and adds to that rushing total. The score is the big story now. Evansville 38, Edgerton nothing from the Rock Valley Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on 57 Sports.
Evansville varsity volleyball action this week. The JV2 team is in the tournament tomorrow morning at Stoughton High School. The matches are scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. there.
Yes.
All the volleyball teams have a home and away match next week.
Yep.
On Tuesday, the teams travel to Beloit Turner to take on
You're going to go right to the interview? Okay.
And on Thursday, they'll host the Spartans from McFarland High School. JV1 and JV2 matches start at 5. And our varsity is scheduled to get underway at 6:30 on both nights. Evansville Albany's JV2 football team travels to Edgerton High School next Tuesday, September 19th, to take on the Tide.
We're taking a break from the game with another Dale's Heating and Air sideline report, and with me now I have Molly, leader with Subway of Evansville, who provided us with some yummy, yummy, yummy food tonight for all of our staff. I think we had sandwiches, we had pizza, we had chips, we had drinks, and you can't forget the cookies. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And you guys are so involved in the community. You're out here tonight watching the game. And I have to just say, I am so impressed with the Evansville community, with all of the different things going on and the different families in need, and just how everybody's been able to rally together. And why, in your opinion, being a business owner here, is the community so connected, and it's so important for businesses to get involved in the community?
Yeah, we're all really close here, and we really care about our sports teams and just enjoy, celebrating sports and being here on a Friday night and having fun. And I've got kids who are in sports too, and it's, it's great to see them grow in sports. And
absolutely. And I love that, Subway being a big name, but you're the local franchise owner, and you can come into the Subway of Evansville and you can see Molly. I think that's pretty darn cool, and we just appreciate working with you guys so much, and thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Molly, and we'll head back to the game. That was your Dale's Heating and Air sideline report.
And a nice job by Ellen Barrett there. I'm Rich Reynolds, sitting alongside Eric Rogers, and big ups to Molly and the good people over at Subway of Evansville and Edgerton again.
They went a little above and beyond to get our food tonight. We had a little snafu with the order. We might have sent the order to the wrong restaurant.
Is that right?
They went and got it for us to bring it to us. So thanks again.
They always treat us so darn well when we're down here, and I love that about Evansville. Want to give a shout out as well. Can we do shout outs? Mark Wicker in the stands tonight, a longtime colleague and friend of mine, and his daughter Courtney was in one of the sideline interviews as well, the senior captain of the cheer team. So very cool to see. So it was nice to see Mark, and hopefully he's watching the rest of this game here tonight. 38-0 is our score. It has been all Evansville. But again, now for Edgerton, I think, boy, you want to put some points up on the board.
Yeah, I know you called it last quarter saying, yeah, this thing is over. I mean,
yeah, it was a good call.
Edgerton's not, yeah, they're not playing to win the game now. It's kind of one of those, well, do we get guys playing time? Do we, just work on, maybe we want to get this play, like use it as almost a scrimmage type situation, which the stats are not going to look as good then, when you look back in the box score. But this game was really like done playing after 3 quarters. So the fourth quarter going to be a little bit of all academic type stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing some young guys get some reps here.
2 yards on the
Yeah,
play.
and that's always a good thing and something to build on if you're a Coach Gregory. Coach Gregory has had some success here in the school, and that's why he's been around as long as he had. We talked about it earlier, the actual tenure of both of the coaches combined. We're talking about 55 years as head coaches in this league. That's a lot.
Yeah, Ron Grovestein in his 36th year at Edgerton, or Evansville, Albany rather, he's going to improve to 267 and 110.
Wow.
And those numbers just so high it almost doesn't mean anything anymore.
Seriously, if you were to translate it to college football, they're like Bobby Bowden type numbers. Pro football, they're like Don Shula type numbers. Very impressive indeed, and an amazing career here at Evansville, Albany for Coach Grovestein. Probably why they named the field after him.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're going to have, I'm sure there's a situation where, well,
and
actually,
there he is right there.
I'm going to say one of his staff members has a child that plays on the team, and I'm guessing he also played for Coach Grovestein at one point. Like, that is definitely possible. It's a generational type of thing.
That is really cool. As 3rd down and 8, Johnson, plenty of time, airs it out, and another acrobatic catch by Daniel Zimet. His second, he did it on the first drive of the night, and look at this throw by Johnson on the money, slow-mo replay, Zimet going up and getting it at the 38-yard line, pick up on the play of 20 yards.
That's where if you're Tyler Asen on the coverage there, you see the receiver's eyes widen, and that's when you have to at least stick an arm in there and try to obstruct his view or block the ball from getting in there. But man, what a concentration to haul that ball in, and hey, some positivity to look forward to if you're Edgerton, and that's what you're looking for, is some things to say, all right, when we break down film on Monday, are we looking at negative things? How many negative things to positive things? What's the ratio there? And you go, all right, number 44, nice work. We'll put that one in the books, and we'll go back to that one later in the year.
And adding insult to injury, a courtesy Ford flag out on the field. Roughing the passer was the call. Coach Grovestein didn't like it. He was about 10 yards off the sideline, giving the refs an earful, but it will go as a penalty flag against them. In fact, it is their 5th of the night for 50 yards.
Well, that's where, I mean, if you're a coach that's kind of just going through the motions at this point in the game with the score as it is, I mean, that's the difference between a coach that's new and a coach who's done it for a while. It's like the Bill Belichick.
Johnson airs one out to the end zone. Touchdown. Beautiful strike. A long throw going almost from one sideline to the other. Johnson finds Skylar Gullickson-Neeson in the end zone. And look at this toss by Johnson to a sliding Gullickson-Neeson for 6, and the Crimson Tide are on the board with a You Move Me touchdown.
Goodness, 2 great catches on that drive, and not an easy play to make. I mean, you're looking up into the lights. It's, maybe the game is not on the line necessarily at this point, but you're just looking to get something going. And, man, that's going to be something to feel good story.
Wow, and talk about special teams. 2 blocked punts, now a blocked extra point on the night. Evansville not letting up even with a 32-point lead. Our new score, 38-6. Blue Devils will come back to Evansville for the end of the Rock Valley Bowl right after this on 57 Sports.
Teams both have away games.
And then I'll let you do that.
What do I do? The Palmyra Eagle to take on the Panthers on Thursday, September 21st. And the 8th grade team travels to Turner to take on the Trojans. 7th graders will kick off at 4 o'clock.
I don't have the stats. Can you? I'm going to go with Lang on defense for
Evansville. Yeah, that's a good call. I know he had at least the 1 sack and 2 other TFLs. I don't know if he's got more than that.
I
think
so.
Yeah. Underway at 4 o'clock on both days.
All Evansville tonight, 38-6. By the way, once again, a big thank you goes out to Paul Canarella at A1 Furniture for sponsoring high school athletics as they do for football and basketball for us. They are our title sponsor for the Bowl Series. A1 Furniture and Mattress, your premier mattress and furniture store. 6.5 minutes left. We are getting close to choosing our offensive MVP, brought to you by Brunzell Lumber, and our defensive MVP, brought to you by Little Stroke Swim Academy. We will have that for you as we'll give out the hardware after the game tonight. There might be some for this man right here, as he has been electric tonight. Sam Urquhart, who has had 2 big kick returns, a good punt return, a couple long runs, including a touchdown run. Oh, excuse that. He had a 29 and a 32-yarder, neither for touchdown. But look at Urquhart. He is fast.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know if you – technically that's special teams, though, Rich. No, that's a great play. I mean, you're breaking through coverage. It doesn't just happen. I mean, that's a play you practice. You get your wedges set.
Where's our special teams player tonight,
right. We need to get another sponsor for this and hand out another plaque.
Might not have mentioned it, but Trayvon Randolph came in last series as the new quarterback. He is a sophomore and has been handing off as we have been going along here on a continuous clock. This time they give us to Charles Heinzelman, his first carry of the night, a junior, a 6 foot, 185-pound tailback, and he picks up good yardage on first down.
So if we're looking at an offensive MVP, would you go with, it's got to be from Evansville, Albany, but do you go with Hagel or do you go with, Katzenmeyer had that 59-yard touchdown run? I mean, there's a lot
Pascal's
of choices.
got 2 touchdowns and 73 yards. It's kind of hard to tell. There are a lot. It's been kind of evenly distributed more than anything. Milky's had a good night. The give again is going to be to Heinzelman. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it to you. So those are all good candidates. I kind of like Hegley. Yeah, Hegley's got 2 touchdown catches, had some runs as well. He's had a good night.
Well, I mean, we'll all have that for you in the post-game coverage of this, the trophy presentation, which will go to Evansville, Albany, in this one, a 38-6 lead right now, and they have the ball, and right now it appears they're just looking to run this thing out, and we get a pitch.
Heinzelman once again, and boy, he's a big load coming off the left side, and it's going to be a couple yards shy of a first down.
Charles Heinzelman, the running back / linebacker, listed at 6 foot, 185. I think someone switched jerseys because he's bigger than 185 in my eyes.
I would agree with that. My son is like 6'2" and 170, and he looks like a stick.
Yeah.
So he might be more than 185. 4th down. Evansville's been going for it a lot tonight. They go for it again, and they get it on a 5-yard hitter straight up the middle as the carry goes to Gabriel Dienberg.
23, Gabe Dienberg on the carry.
So we have the 22-yard touchdown catch from Gullickson Neeson on the Edgerton side of things, as you see this 38-6 score right now, and they blocked extra point and just everything working for Evansville Albany tonight. And we'll have the post-game interview with the head coach, Grovestein, after this game. And boy, oh boy, are just so many things just came together tonight, and now their second win in a row.
Yeah, I don't know what he could point at to his team and say, hey, we need to improve on that. Coaches always look for that kind of stuff, though. Maybe it's the penalties. They had 5 penalties tonight. I don't know what else. It seems to be a very complete game so far this evening for Evansville.
Second down and 10.
Well, as we appear to get into victory-type formations almost, as we're just going to go with a fullback run, it's, you know, as we mentioned, just academic at this point, but man, both these teams showing great sportsmanship as this game is out of hand, and you already know who's going to be the victor in this game, and you look ahead to next week and what you're going to prepare for early on in the week, so that when it comes time, when it comes time to go to the film, you got something to work on.
Evansville running out the clock, just about 2 minutes left in this football game as the carry goes to Deanberg once again, and a flag down on the far sideline. Clock continues to run. Next week, we're back over at Mansfield Stadium, East versus West, as we go back into the Big 8 Conference. And boy, what a rivalry that one is. Madison East versus Madison West. 2 teams apparently going, though, in different directions. Although, as they say, throw the proverbial records out in that football game. And I hope that we will. And I hope that East can at least make it a good football game.
Well, it's almost becoming our home away from home. You know,
it's our third trip to Mansfield.
There, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to enjoy it. Might see some Chick-fil-A next week. That's going to be my guess. We always look forward to that. As there's the quarterback, Trayvon Johnson, looking for the end zone, or Trayvon Randolph, excuse me, and he is just shy as he brings it down to the 1 yard line, a pickup of 14 yards for the sophomore signal caller.
Well, you love to see these guys continue to compete, and that's what you want your players. That's what you ask of them. We put the younger guys in, the least experienced guys, and
yeah, I mean, see, there's not
you play to the whistle.
There's not a lot of merit in throwing sophomores out there and asking them to take a knee. If you're going to put them in a game situation, let's see what they can do, and that's what Coach Grovestein is finding out right now. This is the future of his football program, but he will take a knee here as Edgerton just stood up on defense. Nobody will hit each other here. The final ticks are going to be coming off the clock, as I'm not sure if the Blue Devils need to put it down one more time or not. Maybe yes, maybe no. Nope, that's going to do it. And a very impressive performance tonight for Coach Grovestein and his Blue Devils. Our final score, Evansville-Albany 38, Edgerton 6. We have got a lot to do. We're going to wrap this football game up. We are going to give away the hardware tonight, offensive and defensive MVPs, plus the big trophy. We'll have our Jacobson brothers plays of the game as well, so don't go anywhere. A lot to accomplish. Right now, why don't we head down to the sidelines. Our very own Ellen Barrett standing by as we get the post-game going.
Thanks, guys. We've got your A1 Furniture post-game award show coming up as well. You're not going to want to miss it. We're giving away 2 MVP trophies, an offensive and a defensive MVP, thanks to Brunzell Lumber and Little Stroke Swim Academy. And we're also going to give away the A1 Furniture Rock Valley Bowl trophy. It's all coming up after this, so please stay with us.
Evansville High School tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Eric's not. A lot of ground to cover here in the post-game shows. The Rock Valley Bowl goes the way of Evansville once again. Their 4th straight win over Edgerton. Final tonight, 38-6, and Evansville was able to do it in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for anything other than this. I mean, a 38-6 win is going to look good in the stat sheet. It's going to look good when you break down film. It's a a momentum booster is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you get 2 straight wins. You're now 2-3. It doesn't feel so bad anymore after you started the year 0-3 with high expectations. And what did Coach Grovestream tell us before the game? And that's, we just take it one game at a time. And it's a total cliche, but it's true. You focus on the one thing and you start getting focused on the other stuff, it's just not going to be successful.
38-6 our final. We'll be back with the Jacobson Brothers plays of the game, then we'll give out the hardware. That's next here on 57 Sports. Rich and Eric back in Evansville, 38-6 our final, all Evansville tonight, and they did it with a lot of big plays, and those big plays we'll check out now on the Jacobson Brothers plays of the game, and Evansville doing it in all 3 phases tonight. Special teams, offense, defense, as we take a look at the connection here on a 4th down. Milky hits his man.
Yeah, the first play of the first big play of the game, and that was the first quarter, and Hagley hauls that ball in over the DB, who ended up getting targeted a couple times in the game.
Edgerton looking to respond. Nice throw. Johnson to Zymet. We saw that connection a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, it is another one we called that maybe it was a little bit of a push-off.
Bit of a force there by Milky. So at this point, it's only a 10-0 game on that turnover, but this was the big play. A backbreaker. Logan Katzenmeyer, 59 yards to pay dirt.
Yeah, that was Reyes, the DB, getting laid out on that play, and boy, pay dirt.
Tony Pascal had a couple of touchdown runs tonight. There was one there, and then Milky with a bobbling catch to Hegley.
Yeah, that one set up a touchdown, and man, the game, and here we go.
Punt block, we saw that twice tonight as the special teams were dominant for the Blue Devils. And then Milky, another touchdown throw to Hegley, his 2nd of the night. Johnson to Zymet. Gotta love this connection as, again, Zymet lays out to get the catch.
Yeah, this is when the game was out of hand, but Edgerton got some things going.
The very next play, a touchdown toss to Gullickson Neeson. And then you get to see Mr. Urquhart here. Whoop. He was everywhere tonight, and the kicker as well. An explosive player. Our final again, 38-6. Some great shots in there, great replays. Gotta love it again. Next week, we are going to be at Mansfield Stadium, East versus West. Looking forward to that
We're back home, as it were, and we'll cover another one of those. And we always love going out there. The Rock Valley Bowl in the books. We're halfway done with the season, or a little bit more.
Yeah, unfortunately, it goes by all too fast. Speaking of things that goes by quickly, it's the presentation of the hardware. That seems to go by too fast, especially if you're getting some. We'll find out our offensive and defensive MVPs coming up next here on 57 Sports.
This is the end of the game of the A1 Furniture Rock Valley Bowl. We got your A1 Furniture post-game award show. We're going to hand out the big trophy in a little bit, but first we have your MVP, your offensive MVP, and that's, your defensive MVP, and that's brought to you by Little Stroke Swim Academy. This is going to Evansville. Brandon Lang, you had 1 sack, 2 tackles. You deserve this one, man. Congratulations. Thank you. Great job. Thank you, guys. And stay with us. We've got your offensive MVP brought to you by Brunzell Lumber coming up right after this. We're back with the A1 Furniture post-game award show, and we're going to hand out the Rock Valley Bowl trophy in a little bit. But first, we have your most valuable player, offensive player, and this is brought to you by Brunzell Lumber. And we have Samuel Hagley, 2 touchdowns. I mean, I could read the whole list. It was a long one of your accomplishments tonight. Congratulations. You deserve this. Congratulations. And stay with us. We'll be giving away the A1 Furniture Rock Valley Bowl trophy right after this. Evan. This was an exciting game for you guys. You guys did such a great job, and I'm really excited to present to you the A1 Furniture Rock Valley Bowl Trophy. This is a heavy one, Coach. You're going to have to help me hold this one up. Can we do it?
I've been practicing.
We can do it? All right. There you go, guys. Congratulations.
Hey, Coach, got to tell you, as this game unfolded, it seemed like you guys were impressive in all three facets of the game. Special teams looked great, a couple of blocked punts, good returns, defense looked good. Everything was clicking for you tonight, wasn't it?
Pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Our coaching staff did a heck of a job, and of course our kids are ready to move on to the next games, coming up. And we work hard on fundamentals, so it's a fundamental game.
Well, as you see, Coach, the plaques have been handed out for the offensive, defensive MVPs. We had a really hard time deciding on both of those because, as we mentioned, there's just everything working for you guys. What was the thought coming into the game? I know you talked about in the pregame show, one game at a time, but what goes in the preparation for the week when you're looking at, all right, we got our first win of the season. How do we make that into 2 in a row?
Team. It's a team game, and we have to play together as a team and move on as a team. So these guys know that when they win awards, they know it's a whole team thing.
Absolutely. And Team Harlow, another thing that we were talking about tonight as well, being Harlow strong. A lot of purple on your team tonight. It seemed like the boys were playing with some extra inspiration, weren't they?
It was outstanding. Outstanding. These kids were prepared to win this game, and they did.
Excellent night here for Evansville. Great victory tonight in the Rock Valley Bowl. They were impressive, and our thoughts and prayers going out to Harlow as well. Terrific night. Our thanks to Eric Rogers, to the victorious Blue Devils. Yeah, great job tonight for everybody involved in the broadcast, Ellen and Jessa. And just a wonderful night here in Evansville. We'll be at Mansfield Stadium next week. Thanks for watching the Rock Valley Bowl right here on 57 Sports.